And we are back with the Powerhouse Marathon. And we will be seeing right now a Ghost of Tsushima run by Aeshmah. And yeah, we have met our incentives. Thank you guys very much for donating Irlak for $27 for the Kage team, also adding Bring Them as a little comment towards the last run. And yeah, Aeshmah, take it away.
Alright. Hello everyone, I'm Aeshmah. I'm going to be running Ghost of Tsushima for you. And with me on commentary I have...
Hello guys, I'm Charlatan. I also run this game but in the easiest category. So I'm gonna be taking notes here so I can take away some advice from from Ash.
Perfect. Getting more competition in the lethal category. So yeah, this will be a any percent new game plus lethal run. So we are doing basically from a cleared save file on the hardest difficulty. And since we are going to have about 3.5 hours to talk over this run anyway, I guess we can just go ahead and start this one. And if I'm not mistaken, Kage has won the bid war for the horse name, if that is correct.
That is correct, yes.
All
And
right.
also, we are going to kill Shimura.
Well, that can wait
Ooh.
just a little bit more because that is right at the end of the run. So you guys still have about a good 3 hours and 50 minutes, I say, to donate money to that if you actually want to kill him or if you want to spare him. So let's see how that
I like
develops
that.
over the run. All right. Anyway, once I press my button here, the run will start. So let's get this show on the road in 3, 2, 1, go.
Nice.
And here we are.
So an interesting thing about the horses actually is that when you play New Game Plus and you play again, you can't choose the horse that you used in the previous run.
Mm.
So that's a really interesting thing because, well, I don't want to say anything, but something happened to the horse in the middle of the run.
It just lived on with its horse wife and horse kids in a very nice place where we left it and stuff like that, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, this is the island of Tsushima. It's got a little bit of a problem here because it's actually been invaded by a Mongol army, killing off all of these samurai protecting the island, except our main character, Jin Sakai, and his uncle, Lord Shimura. And as you can see on the title card here, the goal of the first act of the game is actually to go ahead and rescue our uncles so that we can, form something like a plan how we are going to tackle this Mongol invasion and fight back. So let's see how long that will actually take us. While I get totally lost in these woods here because I kind of take a route that I've never taken before, but thank God I found my tree that I'm looking out for so we can actually continue with this run here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's New Game Plus, so we actually skip the whole prologue of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of 45 minutes, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find any samurai to kill your
And
uncle?
yeah, so we in the prologue we actually
sure you'll
went
find
to
someone soon.
Castle Canada to try to save our
Naka
uncle,
can
but
help you.
we
After
didn't
we
have
save
any
you.
luck there. So now we need
to
to
believe I
regroup
might see
and
him
find
soon.
some allies so we can go again and try to save
disagree?
Lord Shimura.
It's probably a good part where we can actually talk about what the
you?
differences are between the
brothers
new
or
game and the new game plus one of the game. Like Charlatan already said, we completely skipped the whole
will you do
prologue
when
of the
he's
game, which is a huge time save compared to a fresh save file where you always have to do that. It's basically just, all the tutorials, how you play the game and setting up the story and stuff like that. And since you're playing a new game plus, you've already seen that once anyway. So it's nice that we just get to completely skip that. Furthermore, we can skip all of the cutscenes in the game, period. Like, you can't do that on a new game save file of this game, so if you start fresh you have to watch every single cutscene. And since you can skip all of these, we save another round about 2 hours over the course of the game, which is of course a huge time save. And then the third advantage that we have on New Game Plus over a New Game save file is, of course, since this is New Game Plus, we of course carry over all of our armor, our equipment, our upgrades and stuff like that. So we are basically, our end game equipped right from the get-go. Which, as you can see in about 10 minutes or so, really helps with encounters.
There's the camp.
Yeah, I don't really know how it works in other new games with New Game Plus, but a difference between, I mean, something that we don't have on Ghost of Tsushima is actually all the loot and the ammunition that we collect in the previous run. So we also are going to be doing a lot of looting and some shopping as well.
Yeah. It's actually really a bit of a problem, I think, in the beginning, that while you do carry over all your armors and stuff, you have absolutely no bombs, you have no arrows, you have your kunai, nothing like that. You have to find everything again because your resources actually don't carry over between runs. Which, you know, makes the beginning a little bit interesting, but also a little bit volatile, because every enemy encounter that we will come to has a huge random component to it. So we are a bit at the mercy of the RNG, but the further we get into the run, the more tools we actually get to deal with the RNG to make, you know, the strategies and everything more consistent.
Yeah, and right here, Aeshmah is actually changing outfit. So as you can see, he put the ghost armor that you get late in the run, if in the game, if this was a fresh file. And every set of armor that we're going to use, it has a specific set of charms on. So in the case of the ghost armor, this armor is made entirely with the um, idea of terrifying the enemies.
So here we are a little bit in the flashback section, and you are actually supposed to find this bear that Jin and his uncle are hunting, and you're supposed to follow the bear in this S-shape kind of path. However, as a speedrunner, we know where to go, so we can just cut straight across that and save a bit of time here. And
this is
just to come back to the Terrify thing that Charles had mentioned here. So there is kind of a status effect in the game called Terrify. And what Terrify does is it makes an enemy drop his weapon and flee the battlefield. And from that point onward, this enemy counts as defeated in terms of the encounter. And the ghost armor actually has a perk that makes it so that when I kill an enemy while I'm wearing the ghost armor, there is a 40% chance that another enemy will get terrified. And what we then do is we equip a couple of charms that actually boost that percentage chance. And at the end of the day, we basically have a 90% chance whenever we kill one enemy that another will just straight up flee the fight. And that basically makes us go fast.
Yeah, see, yeah, every enemy that is terrified count as defeated. So if you have to, for example, kill 5 enemies, if you kill one and the other 4 get terrified, it counts like you killed everybody.
And that is basically the huge random part of the game, because we cannot boost this chance to 100% chance. We can only get it to about a 90% chance if the math actually works out. So there's always this basically 10% chance that things will go wrong or might go wrong. And that is just something that you have to learn and deal with over the course of the run. So you always have to adapt to the situation and find the enemies that are still left alive in the encounter. And, you know, track them down and kill them if you have to.
Yeah. So one thing that we skip that we are going to be using a lot on the run is I don't remember the name of that Viking gave to that, the
well,
rolling.
There's 2 names to that. I like to call it the Japanese roly-poly ghost, or JRPG for short, and I just named it that so I can make that JRPG joke. But another name that has been come to be known a little bit more widely spread is the Tumbleweed Samurai, as the Wicked Viking, another runner of this game, has started to call it. And it just flows off the tongue a little bit nicer, I think.
Yeah, Tumbleweed, that's the name I was looking for. Yeah, that's actually a really nice like part of the game. I think it's like a little bit of a glitch, because if you enter, if you are crouching and you start rolling, and you don't stop rolling, you can just go in front of the enemies and nobody's going to see you. So we're going to be using that a lot as well.
It basically lets us skip all of the stealth sections of the game and then some. Which again, makes us go fast, and we do like that. But yeah, it's probably a bit of an oversight from the developers that actually works, but it's a fun mechanic.
Yeah, and a little bit of advice. It works also in Legends. So if you guys play Legends, the multiplayer co-op of this game, it also works there.
Does it really?
Who else made it out of
Yeah, it
Korea?
does.
I think I've never gotten it to
Any
work
others who
there.
can fight back?
Besides us? I don't know yet.
You'd better find out quickly.
Might be doing
We
something
can't
wrong
free
there.
your uncle by ourselves.
Okay, so here we meet with Sensei Ishikawa. He's a master of the bow. And for completing the whole game, we need to obviously do the main quest. And that main quest considered to do the chapter 1 of a couple of characters that we are going to meet in the run. And Sensei Ishikawa is one of them.
So yeah, there you saw the tumbleweed samurai once more in action by me just rolling up to these patrol of Mongols, and they were none the wiser until I was actually upon them and could start assassinate them. And you will probably see quite a bit of that over the course of the game here. But yeah, like we said earlier, the whole trick to that is you just crouch down while an enemy hasn't detected you yet, and then you just start rolling and you basically never stop until you are where you're supposed to go. Now, the only thing that you have to keep in mind is as soon as an enemy has seen you, so you see these white indicators pop out on the screen, that doesn't work anymore at all. Like, you will be seen if they have started detecting you. So you absolutely have to start your roll while you are still completely undetected by the enemy.
Left uneaten.
The attack was sudden.
Yes.
I fear the worst.
So now we are going to we're gonna go with Sensei Ishikawa to a fort here, and this is how we get the bow.
Lost enough there.
Obviously, because this is New Game Plus,
Mongols fought
Ash
like
already has the bow, but
my own eyes.
we need to do this quest anyways.
But on body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah, it's a bit sad that the game doesn't account for you already having all these weapons and armor and whatnot that you would naturally pick up during the story. So you just have to go, you know, through the motions here and do all of that stuff again. So this is where we would get the bow. We do have to do a little bit of archery training here to actually show our sensei that we indeed are capable of using it.
How does it feel?
Like it was made for me.
And then we can continue on our merry way here.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're gonna be meeting some characters, and Sensei Ishikawa is one of them.
It is a good bow.
So the next part is a Mongol camp
See the Mongols
that
fire weapons.
we need to clean, so we can search for Sensei Ishikawa's
I hope
apprentice
your student is inside.
that is missing. So here we are going to. This is kind of a tutorial as well for using all the things in the battle. So we're gonna be using some hornet's nest, some gunpowder barrels, and some fires. That you are going to encounter these items all over the island, and this is kind of the tutorial for using them.
Of insects and arrows.
Those barrels.
Yeah, you see, we basically have to look at all these different objects, and Ishikawa will tell us a little bit about how we could use them in the battle.
Lights will kick up sparks.
And start fires.
They have many archers.
The skilled.
And coming up now is a part that is actually dependent on the difficulty you play. What I will do now is pick up a few arrows that are scattered around this little plateau that we are hiding around. And depending on the difficulty, it actually matters, or it depends how many arrows you will actually pick up. Like, as you can see, I only picked up 1 explosive arrow and 2 fire arrows. On a lower difficulty, you would probably pick up way more of those. But since it's the highest difficulty, you basically only get a few of those as pickups.
Yeah, I play on easy, and I most of the time guess like 6 or 4.
Rough landing.
This is
You can
probably
see
one of
Ash is-
the worst battles on the New Game Plus file, simply because we don't have a lot of tools to use yet. So you can, yeah, you just have to see how this battle goes. How many of these archers will actually flee, and how many I actually have to go ahead and fight, because they do not get terrified of me. But so far, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, these guys here on the roof, you want them to be scared because he's flying.
Okay.
And you can use all the things here on the all the things that are on the fort, so you can skip the battle. And here you can see Ash just reset from save, and that's because Sensei
Slay the
Ishikawa is
prisoners.
somewhere and he needs to be there so we can continue the quest.
But they basically saw me at the end of that fight. I was desperately looking around for the last enemy that apparently hadn't fled the fight yet. And that is just something that you will probably see me do more and more during the course of the run, because I will just start looking around for this last enemy that I have to fight in order to progress the game. This time it was actually the big guy. I have never had that happen before. Normally I either kill him or with the explosive barrels, or he leaves the battlefield. It was actually the first time that I have to go ahead and fight him. So that never happened before, I suppose.
Yeah, and after all this battle, we need to watch some items. So we watch the kimono, a piece of paper, and we are going to see these arrows here. So we can get some clues where the apprentice of Sensei Ishikawa is.
So the Mongols took a
So yeah, while we can't skip all of the cutscenes in the game, there are simply just some in-game scenes that we cannot skip, and this is basically one of them. Just a short conversation between Jin and Sensei Ishikawa here. But we have basically finished this quest now. It's only a few more lines of dialogue.
Yeah, and if you remember, I said that we don't carry our ammunition. So after this part, Sensei Ishikawa needs to walk to a door. So we're going to use that time for go to the houses and to pick some stuff that we can then sell, or just like supplies. That is the money here. You can buy stuff with supplies.
Right, because as we said earlier, the island is under Mongol occupation at the moment, so people don't have a lot of use for, you know, money. They would rather have something to eat or some clothes or whatnot. So basically supplies, and that is what we use to trade with the merchants.
So, and as you can see as well, I did some preparation because actually the changing weapons is kinda slow for my taste. So having your weapons ready for the next split is a really good idea.
Yeah, it's definitely
And
some kind of delay when you are switching weapons around, to get them ready.
Yeah, and that's the tale of Sensei Ishikawa. And we are going to see Sensei Ishikawa again in some battles, but we just need to do the first chapter of his story.
There's a whole side quest line involving him and his search for his student, but yeah, we're not gonna do any of that.
Come, see what I
And
can
here
do
we
for
are
you.
going to shop for some stuff. Some
This
good
will
stuff.
do very well.
Some very explodey
Only
stuff
the
too.
best for you.
I'll see you again.
Yeah.
Come back if you
So
need anything.
the things that we are going to use more commonly is going to be gunpowder bombs, and explosive arrows and fire arrows. Because one of the charms that we have, actually, every enemy that is close to the explosion is going to cut on fire. So we also have another charm on the ghost armor that if an enemy is on fire, he can terrify another enemies. So we are going to exploit that terrifying fire thing a lot on the entirety of the run.
And the beauty is also because, you know, enemies can die from the fire, and that of course triggers the ghost armor perk, where if they die, they have another chance to go ahead and terrify other enemies, and all of that just basically compounds back in on itself and makes us, you know, skip a lot of enemies during the encounters ahead. And I just love the fact that we actually get to use the ghost armor for this speedrun category, because if we are running a new game category, We would actually wear drastically different types of armor and use vastly different tactics simply because we don't have access to a lot of stuff, because most of the armors and even the stuff like the explosive arrows and the fire arrows are locked behind side quests. And since we don't do any of those during a fresh file run of this game, we actually only have very little tools to work with.
Yeah, and I can imagine that. I mean, I haven't played an any percent like new game any percent run, and yeah, I can imagine being a different approach. I mean, more focused on damage than on terrifying people.
Exactly. Like, you will probably see me only do very little sword fighting over the course of this run, but there's a hell of a lot more sword fighting in a new game run of this game.
Lady Masako should be here.
Lady Masako!
And here
warriors of
in
Clan
Adachi
Adachi.
State,
Is anyone
so
near them?
we already meet Shigawa, and we are, as I said at the beginning, we are like looking for people that can join us in our quest for saving
Not
Shimura.
Mongols.
And one of those
to
characters
find out what
is
happened
a person that live here that is called Lady Masako.
Someone forced their way in. Blood.
Yeah, but as we learn, her clan estate got attacked and everybody is missing, so yeah, we now have to look around and see if we can actually still find her, or if anybody is actually still alive.
They were trying to escape, past the children through the window. If anyone survived, they may have fled on horseback.
And here we need to look some stuff, and as you can imagine, we don't. Most of the time we don't have to look all the stuff. We just need to look at specific items and we can continue. In this case, it's the Naginata, the doll on the window, and do those footprints.
And most of the time you actually have to look at everything in order to progress the story, but sometimes you can actually skip on some things to interact with, and you just have to basically go ahead and learn which things you can leave out of your investigation. So save a little bit of time, because every time you inspect something, of course, Jin will have a little bit of a dialogue here. And there she is, Lady Masako. We actually found her. She's alive. Woo!
I fought men.
Yeah, that cutscene that we just skip is really cool, because Lady Masako just the classic shot an arrow to the ground next to the enemy, and then we meet her again, and he tell us that his whole clan was actually murdered, and she doesn't know by who.
That's how it ended.
Yeah, so not only do we have a Mongol invasion to contend with, there are also some traders on the island. So, that's not good.
Yeah, and the prologue, actually, in the prologue, we meet the husband of Lady Masako. And
For a very short time.
yeah, for a very short period of time, we met him. And somebody in chat says, Lady Massacre.
Yeah, so there is a running gag in the community going on that because there's another side quest line with Lady Masako finding all these traitors that betrayed her and her clan and massacred everybody. And every time you go ahead and find one of these conspirators and corner them somewhere, Lady Masako is going to have a little chat with them that basically ends in the death of said conspirator, because she goes a little bit... yeah, she has anger management issues, let's just put it that. And that is why we started calling Lady Masako Lady Massacre. Or Murder Granny, if that is more to your liking.
I like Murder Granny better.
Why is nobody liking the names that I come up for this stuff? God damn it.
We do like the... well, we don't meet him yet, but the one that you have for Lord Shimura actually is really good.
Yeah, it's taking a while though.
Thank you for your time. Of course.
Okay, so here we are in the Golden Temple. So in all the island there is some like refugees, and this is one of them. And in these places we can buy stuff, we can improve our weapon, our gear. And if this was a normal run, this is where we get our first armor. But here we're gonna get it, but Aish is going to change it right away because we don't like it.
Yeah, this samurai armor is like really great when you're casually playing the game at first, but it's completely defense orientated, like it increases your health, it increases or it decreases the damage that you take, stuff like that. But it just has no offensive perks, and you know, we want to go fast. We're speedrunners, so we want to take something that's a little bit more defensive orientated. Also, the chat is calling my name's not Mimi enough, so god damn it.
Yeah, and as you can see, Ash is jumping, and that's not because he wants to work in his calves, but because in some parts, Jin is going to be talking with an NPC, and then he can sprint. So a sprint, luckily, is the fastest way of movement. But when we can't sprint, sorry, the jumping is the fastest way of movement.
We can't be seen.
So it's basically every time the characters are programmed to have a talk between themselves and, you know, walk a certain distance, so basically a walkie-talkie section, all your movement is slowed down except your jump, and that is why we just started jumping, because it's the fastest way of movement that we have available to us at that point in time.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
So this is the Sogen trailing section. This monk is one of the conspirators, as we have learned in the assassination of Lady Masako's clan. And we are supposed to follow him to this den of thieves that is somewhere down this street here. However, he always takes the same path. So, of course, since it's a New Game Plus run and we are speedrunners, we know exactly where he's going to go. So we don't actually need to follow him. We can just lead him on, so to speak. And what I'm going to do here is I will go to a pretty specific point, and I will wait for him to go around this rock there. Now, ready my weapon. And once he is around there, you can kind of see him in this red outline over there. I'll actually just go ahead and sprint to the next story progress point. And as long as I make it there before the timer runs out, I will actually go ahead and advance the quest, even though Sogen isn't actually there to do it for me.
Yeah. So, even though Ghost of Tsushima is an open world game, when you are doing a quest, you can't move far from the NPC that is like the companion for that quest, and this is one of those points. And yeah, luckily we can just sprint there and trigger the cutscene for the next part before the time end.
Stand and fight!
So, now we're gonna fight some bandits here in honorable combat. Well, at least at first, by doing a standoff against them. This will actually give us a lot of resolve that we need later on.
So the resolve, you get the resolve when you kill an enemy or you do a perfect parry. And the resolve, you're going to use it for healing. And you also can do what Ash is doing right now, the Dance of Wrath, which is that really, really fast attack. And here he's looking for enemies, and all the guys are dead or they run away.
And Sogen's dead too now. Because murder granny.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like him.
Names.
And here we look at this paper over the table that give you the list of traders. And now we talk to Lady Masako, and we already finished the Lady Masako's quest.
Yep, there we go. And that is basically all that we see of her quest line, because as we said before, the rest is a side quest line. We don't do any of the side quests in the speedrun, of course. We will only focus on the main quests. So while we'll see Lady Masako again as a companion during the other main quests, we just won't complete her storyline.
Yeah, and here there is a long ride. So as you can see, the HUD on Ghost of Tsushima is actually almost non-existent. And that's a really, really good for a normal playthrough. But when you have to go from point A to point B in the middle of the forest, I would really like to have a compass there, but we just need to get acquaintance with the landscape. And even though the game is fairly run, all these routes, they are not set on stone, and you can see every runner have like a little different route for going from point A to point B.
It's basically still a thing that we are trying to optimize a little bit more, because everybody has like slight variations on how they are going to move from one quest to the other, because there are quite a few of these longer riding sections in the speedrun, and we just haven't figured out yet which route is actually the fastest of them. Like, we have some theories, but I don't think we have tested all of them just yet. So, you know, there's still quite a few optimizations that can go into this kind of run.
Yeah, and another thing that can happen while going from point A to point B is that Mongols patrols are going to spawn randomly in the map, and you don't want to be in front of one of them because the horse, when you are in battle, you actually can't ride it right away. So if you get hit by a Mongol patrol, the horse is gonna run away from you, and you're gonna have some issues going back into the horse. So if we encounter a patrol, I would prefer to lose some seconds and go around them that actually YOLO the thing and go in the middle.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you get shot down from your horse and you have to run a fair distance before you can get it back, that really just loses your time. And there is already a patrol, so they actually noticed me, which is indicated by the indicators turning red, and now they're trying to shoot me. And if I would get hit by any of these arrows, I would get shot down from our horse and basically lose a bit of time there. So I don't want that to happen. You can kind of circumvent these archers by starting to ride in a kind of zigzag motion. But if you're just too close to them, they will definitely hit you, and that can be quite painful.
Yeah. So here we're going to actually activate a fast travel point for later. Because this is an open world game, so we need to go from one point to another point. So if we can activate a fast travel point for later, we're going to do it, and this is one of the cases. So we're going to go to the side of the Mongol fort, and there is a bamboo stand. And in the normal playthrough, if you do this kind of it's like I don't know how to call it.
A bamboo cutting exercise you may have seen,
Yeah, like
you
an
know,
exercise.
people do with a katana, where you just slash down these bamboo stands.
Yeah, and every time you do one of them, you get one resolve.
But, you know,
we
since
already
this is
have
New Game Plus and we already have our maximum amount of resolve, we don't need to do that, of course.
Yeah, so we already activate that point, so we are going to be fast travel to that point later.
So what does resolve actually do, or what is resolve? You might have seen it in the HUD when I was doing the fights. It's those little golden orbs in the lower left corner of the screen, and you can have a maximum of 10 of them. And you use those basically for your special moves, like Charlton said earlier, for the Dance of Wrath, these 3 quick and high power strikes. You can also use 3 points of resolve to revive yourself should you get downed in battle, which is pretty handy on lethal difficulty. And so yeah, managing our resolve is also a bit of a challenge over the course of the run at certain points, because we definitely do want to have access to all of our resolve during certain fights. And this is another part where we are going to have a little walk and a chat with our allies here. However, what I will do is I will lead them on a little bit by starting to inch closer to the maximum distance that the game allows me to get away from them. And if I do this correctly here in just a moment, when they actually start walking,
How bad is the
I can just go ahead and skirt around the edge here. And then Kenji will be very adamant about telling us that a few people fought back. as
The ones
demonstrated.
left alive are prisoners.
And this is actually pretty funny because it only happens with Kenji's voice lines in this particular conversation. If you let this conversation play out a little bit so that Jin or Yuna start speaking and you go out of range, their voice lines will actually get skipped completely. But once it rolls back to what Kenji is saying, once again, his voice line will get repeated. Not the few people for back voice line, but the next voice line in his script. And this little card right here is the only break that we are gonna get during the whole run. So, you know, guys, take the opportunity to stretch and hydrate and maybe read a donation or whatever it is. And you're gonna
Maybe
do.
read a donation. That's my cue. I don't have any right now, but of course, we're just still taking your donations towards direct relief. And these are now coordinating with public health authorities, nonprofit organizations, and businesses to provide personal protective equipment and other items to health workers responding to the coronavirus. So, if you want to donate, let me, because our bot is sadly still away on vacation, drop you the link right there. And if you want to have or like chip in, have a donation, maybe also have a little voice in this incentive that's still coming up in the run, which is either killing or saving Shimura. I don't know if you want to weigh in, Aeshmah, what your favorite is.
I will in actually just a second. But there is something coming up once we leave this card here that I want to talk about, because we have now made it into Azamo Bay. We're here to free Yuna's brother, who is being held prisoner. And what will happen is we will look at a slave trader who is inspecting some, well, slaves. And that can actually, well, soft lock your run a little bit if you are unlucky. Because what will happen here is we will try and, as quickly as possible, make our way onto a rooftop that is a little bit in front of us here. And then very quickly we want to try and go ahead to inspect this slave trader. And you can see him there with the torch. And what we want to do is we want to inspect them while he is kneeling down for the first slave, and then press the X button. And if I did this correctly, once he gets up, he will actually start walking along the path that he is supposed to. If I am unlucky though, he will crouch down by the next slave, and that means I did it too slow. And he will basically just cycle between these slaves more or less endlessly. So now I have to do it again, and I will lose a little bit of time because of that. So now you can see he will actually start walking. So this is a little bit random. If you, well, it's not random, but you have to be really fast to actually get him to do that the first try, so you don't have to reload the checkpoint. It's not a huge deal. It's just a few seconds that you're gonna lose. And now we just basically have this kind of auto-scroller where we just need to follow this guy through a whole lot of the town here. Coming back to the donation incentive, yes, I actually do have a preference when it comes to killing or sparing Lord Shimura, because the thing is, whenever I get a PB, I will go ahead and kill Lord Shimura, and whenever I don't, I will spare him. So yes, I do want to kill him. Simple as that.
Okay, so you heard it. So if you want our our runner here to PB, maybe you have an influence on that if you donate a little more towards killing Shimura, or maybe if you're in a more combative mood today, you donate for the other thing. That's your choice. And yeah.
Fun fact, I actually PB'd during a marathon that I run in, I think it was last weekend. I set a new PB/world record by a time of 3 hours, 21 minutes and 48 seconds, if I have it right. However, I had a glitch or two during my run that cost me at least a minute or two, so if I wouldn't get that this time, this might be another PB or world record run, so, you know, let's see about it at the end. Also, this Mongol here is probably the most deaf person in the world, because he will just move under this, and if I just jump on it, that guy just doesn't care. You know, he's heard nothing. Alright, now we gotta wait for this conversation to end.
What is problem?
Your blacksmith, Taka. He's working.
And here again, we're going to use the Tumbleweed Samurai.
Taka's here.
He is only blacksmith.
No, I'm a blacksmith too, and I'll do much better.
As soon as we can.
I cannot feed two. I get rid of him.
So normally you are supposed to sneak through this market that is full of Mongols, and
He'll kill Taka.
we're not gonna do that. That takes way too long. That's way too much effort. We're just gonna roll through here. You know, nobody sees this. Nobody.
And as soon as Jin says the a dialogue of line, we're going to restart from save, and that's going to teleport the slaver to another place, and us as well. And it's going to put us in a really, really good position.
Yeah, normally you would have to wait him to walk all the way from the other side of the bonfire to here, but by just reloading the checkpoint, once Jin has said that the market is full of Mongols, you can just reload the checkpoint and instantly, well, start from the other end, skipping all the waiting around here.
It's Taka.
Yeah, and here we meet Taka, which is the brother of Yuna, and he's actually
Nearby.
Then that's where we break
blacksmith.
out.
So it's a really, really good. I mean, it's a really good asset to have alive in an invasion like that. So he was held hostage there, and now we save it. We saved him.
Where are we going?
Kenji's waiting
And
for
now
us
we
at the
quickly gotta
crossroads.
leave because, of course, they have found the dead slaver that we just killed and the cutscene that we skipped, and we have to hightail it out of there before we get caught as well. Even though I'm pretty sure we could just fight all of these Mongols by ourselves, because we definitely have the tools for that. But oh well.
Yeah, and I think this is a good place to explain the stamina on Jin. So Jin actually has stamina, so he can sprint forever. But the game doesn't tell you that. But if you look really, really careful at the head of Jin, it's going to drop when he's tired. And we do a little bit of a dodge, and he replenish all his stamina.
Yeah, we're not exactly sure why that works. It's just, you know, if you're out of stamina, just dodge and it's all back again. I mean, just imagine what that would mean for a game like Dark Souls, where if you would just run, lose all of your stamina, do a roll, and you would have it all back. That would completely change the dynamic of that game.
But we can't go back to my place. It's crawling with Mongols.
Yeah, I think it's a really
have to get some
nice
distance
touch
between us
that
and
you
us on
don't
the
have like a stamina thing, but you have the visual cue that he's getting tired.
For sure.
I think it's a really cool thing.
But yeah, this is another longer walkie-talkie section that we can, well, not completely skip, but, make by go quicker a little bit by just dodging our horse and jumping up this mountain trail.
And some sleep. I can help.
Yeah,
with
because
one
it
of
makes
those.
sense that jumping away is faster than going on horse.
You've been
Yeah,
quiet.
totally.
First time in days, I haven't felt like I was about to die. My lord, I am grateful.
So this is the end of the quest of Taka, and we actually end up here looking to
We have something in common.
the Komatsu village, and this village is going to be important in later in the run.
It's just over that ridge.
They have a fort.
Yeah, another 20 minutes or so. Probably. Stars align. But before we get there, we have some other business to attend to.
Yeah, so we are going to get into our little horsey here, and we are going to actually fast travel to that bamboo point that we activate early.
Yeah, this is the one that we grabbed on the way to Azamo Bay before we started the last quest. And now we're just gonna go in a different direction. Because if you remember, in the very first quest that we did in this run, where we rescued that other prisoner from that little war camp, that was a Strawhead Ronin. And he basically told us that the other Strawhead Ronin are somewhere here located in the Kishi grasslands. And now we think, well, maybe we can recruit those guys to try and help us out, save Lord Shimura later on. So We're having a look around, see if we can find them and recruit some more allies here.
Yeah, and here when we ride into the Krishi grasslands, you can see Ash is moving a little bit so he can pick some flowers. And one of the weapons that we have, because this is New Game Plus, is the blowgun.
Ambushed.
And the blowgun
What do you
has
think the Straw
two
Hats do?
different type of
Attack
darts.
started here.
One of them is poison,
Not to be
and
one
we need
Mongol.
some of that for later.
Yeah, because the poison dart is basically an instant kill against any enemy, and as you can probably tell, that is quite useful.
So now we find this little fire here. So we're going to go and investigate and see what's happening here.
Trying to get away from it.
And here we meet Ryuzo, an age-old friend of Jin's, and immediately we will get attacked by more Mongols, so let's try and get rid of those guys.
Yeah, and this is another one of the standoffs. We're going to have a couple of standoffs that you need to do. But the ones that we can avoid, we are going to avoid them. Because all the preparation on the standoff is actually quite slow compared to a normal battle. And here Aeshmah is using again all the things in the environment, and he's using an explosive arrow. So the hornet's nest can go boom, and all the hornets can kill some enemies in his name.
But as you saw there, I was a little bit unlucky because before I was able to shoot my explosive arrow, I actually got hit by an arrow myself, which kind of messed up my aim. So I had to slow down time and realign my shot a little bit. But then another Mongol actually ran through where I was trying to shoot. So lost a little bit of time there, but other than that, that fight went really well because since my shot was delayed, all of the Mongols actually bunched up really nicely around that hornet's nest. So when I actually did fire my explosive arrow, everybody was basically in range of the hornets and got stung and basically killed by them. So, well, I don't even know if that actually was a time loss or not. Might have been, might have not been.
Samurai! Samurai!
Okay, so Russo is going to
Is this
start
your
telling that he actually is the leader now of the Straw Hat running. And
what I said before.
as Ash said at the
Help free
beginning,
Lord Shimura.
the Mongol is in
He'll grant you
invasion, people
anything
is
in his
trading
power
instead of buying
once he
stuff
got
with
the power
money.
to give.
So they have the issue
You can
with
declare the Straw Hats a
food.
samurai clan.
So he's
Make
going
you their
to
lord.
tell Jin that the Ronins
drive
actually
them
are
out.
really, really hungry.
Your name will appear in the Shogun's official records.
You really believe
And this
that?
will actually be a recurring theme with Ryuzo. He's like always hungry. You know, he just really wants a
That'll be
burger or
easy
something.
keeping the Straw Hats
to
together
keel him
after
over.
all the beach.
And he will always just ask us for food and how we can get food and how we can find food, stuff like that.
I used to think so. But it's starting to
Yeah, and as you can see,
How many men do you have?
Ash is going to be picking all the supplies that we can that is in the route.
small army.
Luckily for us,
That peasant said the Mongols
Ghost of
stole his
Tsushima
rice
doesn't
and
have
fought to
a
think they're
picking
holding for dead.
animation, so you can just
It's me.
go your
Have an
way,
idea?
just spamming R2, and you're gonna pick everything in the way.
Ryuzo's back.
Yeah,
Can you
Ryuzo
imagine
really
having
needs a Happy Meal.
Who's the samurai?
Can you imagine having a
Ben,
pick animation in this game? It will be
Oh
terrible.
god, it would be absolutely terrible. Like that would probably add so much time.
Yeah.
we should have talked about your
Also, we will now race Ryuzo to this little cliff that's coming up. See if we can make it there before him. We'll save a second or two. Ah, nope.
Yeah.
He was too fast.
If you
Even
run
though
Time
he's really
lost.
hungry, he can run.
Yeah.
I've got a spare set of armor that should fit.
You better not have light.
Once again, you get another set of armor here that we will actually not use. It would be kind of useful. It actually is an armor set that we will be wearing in a new game speedrun of this game, but since this is New Game Plus, we will just immediately switch back to the Ghost Armor.
Yeah, and now that we re-encounter with our friend of childhood, he keep telling us that he's hungry. The Mongols stole the rice of the guy that we we saw early. And now we're going to go to a Mongol fort and see if we can help the Ronins find food, so we can add them to the list of the allies for going to rescue Shimura.
Oh, never mind.
This patrol is actually a little bit bad because I had to run straight through it, but I guess we managed. But yeah, they could have totally thrown me off my horse there. That would have been really bad.
That was lucky.
That was really lucky, yeah. But yeah, that, like we said earlier, that is just up to RNG. That patrol can be there, and sometimes it just isn't, which is of course better. But, you know, if it's there, you just have to deal with it.
So we here get into a cemetery.
Oh my god.
And down there is a bunch of ships, and there is like a coastline fort, and we are gonna go there and see if there is any food.
Good.
That's all we care now. Food, food,
You ready
food.
to steal some food for us?
Food! Imagine how this story would play out if he would just give Ryuzo a Happy Meal, man.
My scout's back. Come on. A lot of men inside, and a signal at the top of the tower.
If they call reinforcements from the bay, we'll be trapped.
But we will try to plan an attack on this lighthouse there
Watch for me.
and see if they may have stored some food in there. So
If they do, avenge me.
let's creep up
Take their
here.
food.
That's not funny.
Watch the tower for my signal.
If you say so.
So this is a lighthouse, and there is a bunch of lighthouses in the island. And well, in the normal playthrough, you need to light them all up, but here we're going to light this up because it's going to be like a signal for the allies. But before that, we are going to to break the alarm of the enemy. So you're gonna break the alarm of the enemy, and you're gonna turn on your own alarm, which makes sense, I think.
Somehow, yeah.
It's time, Yuzo.
But yeah, coming up is basically another big RNG fight of the game. So here's hoping that the enemies will just run quickly before us. We'll just throw the bomb into the thicket there. Hopefully we hit every enemy.
Yeah, it's a really nice thing. So when you have some group of enemies to throw a bomb, if you have one in the middle, and most of the enemies are gonna catch on fire, and that's going to increase again all the chances of the other enemies to be terrified by that.
Let's get you.
That was a pretty good fight.
That was a really good fight.
Let's see what we're up against.
Russo was in a really nice position as well.
Yeah, definitely. I could just immediately talk to him and continue on.
Small boats on
That was really good.
We could steal one.
It really
Yeah,
goes
so-
that well.
Here again, we need to watch some stuff
A frontal attack
to
would be
plan
suicide.
the attack,
I want my men far
and
from this line.
so we can go to the boats and
Two
find
archers
some
on
food,
that
I think.
cliff. The Mongols
Hopefully.
will focus on them.
I mean, people are hungry.
Hey guys, it's
Let me narrow
Steve
my
Zero
sight
here.
for
Just
some
can I
explosives.
pop in for a sec?
We'll get their attention.
Hello, hello.
Oh,
But we need them to
Hey, I
look
just wanted to
away
say again, thanks everybody for all your donations.
Alright,
Right now
man.
we're sitting at, I know it's about 2 hours away probably, but we're sitting at $29
Let's find our way down to the
from
bridge.
Aeshmah for kill Shimura.
Nice.
Definitely beating save.
Watching
So
you fight back there,
if you want to save Shimura, I have no dog in the
you did
fight.
whatever it took
Get
to
your
win.
money in there.
It's a
Tillifile, go to
competition.
the link
You
below.
fought just as
I'm
hard.
trying to raise money for
Your men should be in position.
direct relief. But yeah, we're kill Shimura is definitely winning right now. So I think Aeshmah is happy about that.
For sure I am.
So if you want to make his life completely miserable, please donate to bring in the save Aeshmah.
Don't. He needs to die.
We need to move quickly. Take an oar.
Or if you want, so if you want to him to die even louder, you can donate to the.
Instructed the ship's crew too.
So one interesting thing that actually happened
Nothing.
right here is that there is some stuff that you can activate only when there is no enemies nearby. But in that cases, we are going to use a smoke bomb, because the smoke bomb, when you are in the middle of the smoke, obviously, the game recognizes that nobody is seeing you. So you can actually activate stuff that you need to activate alone if you throw a bomb and in the exact place when you have to do it.
Because what basically happens is when you throw down a smoke bomb, you get taken outside of combat, because normally we would use smoke bombs to try and assassinate people while you are, well, fighting them. And yeah, we basically abuse this to be able to trigger some events when we are actually not supposed to be able to. So here we'll just wait for the enemies to clump up once more. They're a little bit slow to get over the flank over there, but no matter.
Yeah, and even though the loot that the enemies drop is kind of random, there is some specific parts of the game when you know there is some bombs, some kunais, of some oil that you are going to use later.
What's in here?
So here we are looking for food, and we haven't had any luck yet. So we need to go to those Mongol clans, and hopefully those can give us a little bit of a hint for looking for food. And here I think Ash is going to use the darts. Yeah. So this enemy here is a really big guy. So using the dart there is actually really good, because as I said at the beginning, when the enemy gets hit by the dart, the game recognized as dead immediately. So it's a really nice time save.
But yeah, it's really important, especially in the first act of the game, that you just basically pick up everything that you can, because in the first act there are really not a lot of opportunities for you to do a little shopping trip to stock up on bombs or explosive arrow or whatever else it is that you need. It's basically only the one shopping trip that I did after the Tale of Sensei Ishikawa, because all of the merchants in the first act are like really out of your way. So it would always be a big time loss to try and track them down to resupply. Things start to get a little bit easier starting from the second act of the game, where there will basically be a merchant like at the end of every quest that we do. So we will just deliberately stock up on stuff that we need starting from the second act. But you really have to manage your resources during the first act of the game in a speedrun.
Yeah. So actually, in the easiest category, you actually don't go and buy anything in Act 1, because the thing, as I said, you have more like good loot in easy. So actually going buying stuff, it loses time. So we avoid doing that on story. I mean on easy.
Yeah, you can do that on lethal as well, but you would have to be really careful about what you do and how you do it. Then, so just for a little bit of marathon safety, I opted to actually do this little shopping trip, just so I don't run into any problems later on. Who are we missing? Ah, actually a Mongol up there. Where did you go? There he is. Oh, that was, that never happened before, I guess.
Yuna, is that you?
Oh well, we managed. But as you can guess, Yuna is not supposed to die there.
Survivors are left.
It just took way too long to identify that somebody went up to her level
Men by yourself?
and was actually hurting her.
I've had some practice.
Can you get more arrows?
Or Yuna.
It happens.
And bodies.
They'll have
Y'all
to.
can take it.
I was out here leading villagers to safety. One of them got trapped over here by the. She's alive.
So yeah, here we're on Komatsu. So there is the better fort of the island.
Yes.
is
If we
here.
can't light it,
So
smoke will give
here
us
we
away.
need to do like a
Show the
little
Mongols where to find us.
treasure hunting, I think, because
Force a fight
you
with
need
the location we
to
control.
the forge to work.
Taka,
So Taka, because he's a blacksmith, he can use the forge, but he can't do it alone. So he actually need
Assistant.
his friend to to make the forge work. So we need to go and find his friend.
He is right over there in that building. Captured by the Mongols, of course.
And hopefully after we save him, we are ready to go, and Taka can make the tool that is going to help us going into Castle Canada.
Yukio?
But of course, it's not that easy because Yukio, Taka's assistant, is actually looking for his wife. So now that we have found him, we need to go and look for his wife.
It's never that easy.
Yep, never is.
And so here we are going to go and
Look at me.
save his wife, and again we're going to try to exploit the fire or the explosive so the enemies can get terrified by it.
Yukio sent me.
So now that we have found everybody, we can actually make our way back to the forge. And one thing that is critically important here is, while we are in a company with NPCs like we are at the moment, we do not want to get into any enemy encounters, because if we do, we can't actually run away from them. We would have to take that fight. And as you can imagine, that is slow. So we will very carefully circumvent every fight on the way back to the forge here.
Yeah, and by carefully, Aesh means that we already know where to go, and we're just jumping and running. But yeah, you don't want to get spotted here. Bad news.
Now that we're back in the forge, we actually noticed that, oh no, Yuna is missing. She has gone looking for another family that is stuck somewhere in the city here. So now we have to go start looking for Yuna.
The Mongols are here. Where's Yuna?
Yeah, so
Always something here.
Yuna is here by the river, and the game tells you that you need to talk to her, but you actually don't.
Yep. We'll just completely ignore her. Because we're just that kind of guy.
So as you can see, this whole town is empty. It was taken by the Mongols, so even though we want the forge to work, it's not that easy, because if we activate the forge, obviously all the Mongols are going to know that something's happening there. So we don't know how to proceed. Or I mean, we as the player, but Jin has a plan, I think.
You say
So now we have rescued that family that Yuna was looking for. And now once again, we have to make our way back to the forge without getting spotted.
Where did he come from? It's a
And
long
we're going
story.
to
The way he killed them.
obviously
Maybe you're right.
in our way to try to pick some loot. So as you can see, some linen that we can sell. Linen and iron you can sell for supplies. And there is a gunpowder bomb there. And yeah, now we go to the forge, and we actually are going to tell Taka to activate the forge so we can fight the Mongols in a location that we know. So that's
Like the forge,
Jin's
Taka.
plan.
So normally, of course, you would use the linen and the iron to upgrade your armor and weapons and stuff. But, you know, again, it's a New Game Plus save file. We've already upgraded everything to the maximum, so we can just safely sell them. Be able to buy more bombs and stuff. Yeah, this is the grand fight for Komatsu Forge. All of the enemy spawns here are actually set, so we can just get ready for them. Because we know where they will appear from. Hopefully make this fight go pretty fast here. But
Yeah,
still, things can go wrong.
It's it's a scripted battle. That only thing that can go quote unquote wrong is the RNG of the enemies getting terrified or not. You want them to be scared as much as they can, but they always spawn in the same way. So it's kind of a consistent fight.
We have to kill them.
And here again, we're going to. I mean, I don't know if Ash is going to use the blowgun here.
Ah, I will.
Yeah, so here again we use the blowgun against the leader because the enemies obviously they vary. So you have some small guys, some guys with helmets, and you have the leader that also have a lot of health. And again, the blowgun, when just one hit, the leader dies. So it's actually really good to use it. But the blowgun has a little bit of a step down. So we talk about it, how you need to do the Sensei Chicago quest so you can have the bow even though you already have it. And the blowgun, you actually got it from a quest as well. But the problem is that when you get the blowgun and you use it for the first time, you get a flashback of Jin and how his uncle is telling him about honor and how that's not the way of the samurai. But if you use the blowgun before that quest, you are not gonna get the flashback. So that's why we use it in Act 1, but we don't use it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, getting that cutscene with that flashback, you cannot actually skip that cutscene, even on New Game Plus, so you always have to watch it, and that is just about a 20-second time loss or something like that. So we don't want to get that. So after a while, we'll just stop using the blowgun to not trigger that flashback.
Yeah, and another killing technique that can activate a flashback is when you do a silent kill from above. So you also want to try to avoid that on the speedrun because again, that's a flashback that you can't skip and is only time loss.
An iron hook.
So yeah, now Taka has finally finished smithing something for us. He made an iron hook for us that we can use basically as a grapple of some sort. And immediately Ryuzo comes around again and tells us that he used the Mongol war plans that we gave to him at the end of the last quest to try and raid the Mongol supply lines to finally get some food. However, it was very well guarded food, and now half his men have been captured.
That's not a good thing for an army that you can hire. It's not bad publicity.
Yep, definitely.
But yeah, so Rizzo is coming here and tell us that we need to help him to free the Ronin. And here you can see that Rizzo have like a unsolved issues against Jin. I don't know if it's happened to you, Ash, but every time I run this game, Rizzo tells the same story here, so I can definitely tell that he's not over it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Ryuzo is really bitter that he lost the duel that they are talking about right now.
Almost broke my arm. I'm sorry. It was my first.
And again, here is faster. Just go into out of their horse and just jumping away. So there is actually here like a dialogue that you know that now you can call your horse and then you can use your horse at full speed. And yeah, it's near this bridge. You can again call your horse and then you can just go as fast as you can.
Maybe I should have.
Also, a little tidbit there, you might noticed that whenever I call the horse, I turn the camera around to actually face Jin. The reason for that is you can basically think of the camera as a 3D object in space, And wherever the camera is, the horse will spawn from when I call for it. So if I have the camera positioned behind Jin like I have now, and I would call the horse, it would come from behind me. But if I turn the camera around to face Jin, the horse would actually come sprinting at him. And that basically saves you a little bit of time if you're already running in a certain direction, because the horse actually starts sprinting at you and you can just immediately grab it and continue running in the direction that you are facing. It's just, you know, a little optimization.
Yeah. So here we meet with the half of the straw hat running that are free, and we need to go to in the fort when they have them prisoners, and we can free them. And this is actually kind of the tutorial for the hook, basically, because you have to do a lot of hookling for getting to the top of the fort.
So yeah, up there's Fort Yatate, where Ryuzo's men are being held prisoner. So let's see how we actually can find a way in there.
You're the one who got us onto that Mongol ship.
Yeah, and even though Ryuzo is the leader of the Straw Hat, he actually don't have any plans for going here and just and is relying on Jin for do all the work basically.
His plan was basically grab Jin and do whatever he says.
I'll free your men. Once they're with me, I'll set off one of the alarms. That's your signal to ride in
and crush the Mongols between us.
Yeah, and here is
I knew you'd have a plan.
The cutscene is going to start at the end of the dialogue. So I was playing the other day actually. So if any language is faster in these cases, because you can play the game on English, while I can play it on Spanish and also on Japanese.
At least I think between English and Japanese there's basically no difference. Oh no, wait, there is actually one, but only in the new game category run that I have noticed, because if you're playing from a fresh save file and you increase your rank to unlock your ghost tools, you know, like the kunai and the smoke bombs and whatnot, if you are playing on the English version of the game, Jin actually has some dialogue explaining the ghost tool, but he doesn't have that on Japanese, and you cannot skip that, so that will always cost you a few seconds, just because you have to listen to that dialogue.
That's interesting. Yeah, also the well, I'm not gonna say it right now, but at the point when we are going to hear it, I'm going to tell you another difference between the English and the Japanese version.
Oh.
I mean, I think you already know what I'm going to say, but I don't want to spoil the game in case some people in chat haven't played it yet.
I owe you.
I'm not exactly sure what you're getting at, but I'm definitely all ears for it. But yeah, now we know how the hook works, and we are in Fort Yatate, so let's free the destroyed Ronin.
Caged all over the fort.
Yeah, and one stuff that we do a lot in the run, but you can't know that we do it because it's you don't see the buttons. That is, when Jin's jump from a high altitude, if you don't press circle when he's landing, he's going to get a really slow damage animation. But you can press circle, and he's going to do like a roll and avoid that animation. It's not a trick, it's just a perk of him. And here we release all the Ronins in these 3 cages, and they actually go and kill the Mongols as well. I don't know how they have swords, by the way.
Yeah,
they have the swords inside the cage.
Just free them from the cages. They are immediately armed, so yeah, I have no idea.
I just noticed that. And again, here you can see the enemies in the background. They kind of stop when you are killing somebody, and I think that's the game just like doing the RNG of, oh, is this guy getting terrified?
Set up an alarm and get Ryuzo in here.
And now that we kill everybody, we're going to activate these fireworks so the other Rojas are outside and can enter to the battle.
So this is probably one of
And
my favorite battles in the
yeah.
game, because you can just hang back a little here, you know, watch all these Mongols congregate into a big Mongol mosh pit over there, and then just throw one bomb at them and just, you know, watch them all do some barbecue.
Yeah, it's a really good fight to show how powerful basically the gunpowder bombs are.
For sure.
They are really powerful, and even though more with that charm that we have, that all the enemies that are in the in the area of the explosion catch on fire.
Yeah. So that was basically like, I don't know, 20 enemies or so, like gone, eradicated with one bomb throw.
I need to meet Yuna in Komatsu.
Yeah, and this is actually the this let us pass to the last quest of Act 1. So Ghost of Tsushima has 3 acts, and each act has one like main quest. And you remember this Act 1 is rescue Lord Chimura. So now we can start saving him, rescuing him from Castle Kaneda.
Welcome back.
And I think legitimately this is one of my favorite quests in the game, the end of Act 1, because it's like really cinematic in a way. Like it's one of the longer quests in the game if you play it casually. There are a lot of fights going on, a lot of story progression and whatnot. It's like really fun if you play it for the very first time. And it's still very fun in a speedrun setting, because a lot is going to happen here.
Yeah, even though...
Go ahead.
No, here we actually Aichi is going to pick some stuff, but we have some time here. So if any of the staff want to say something, we are going to go to this campfire and we're going to wait for Yuna here.
You'll feel better. Forget all about Asamobe. I'll be there for both of us.
And there she is.
Everyone, it's time.
So yeah, now begins the infiltration of Castle Kaneda. We have all of our allies, more or less.
You sure this will work?
It has to.
As you can see, we have Yuna, Senshi Shikawa, and Lady Masako. So the 3 like storylines that we begin, and now we can go to Castle Kaneda. But the Straw Hats that Jin's hire, they are not here yet. So hopefully they're going to join Jin later in the infiltration.
I mean, we tried really hard to get food for them. They better come.
And yeah, even though Ghost of Tsushima, as you can see, is 3 hours and 30 minutes with an SSD. If you want to play this game and you think, oh, but 3 hours is too much, we actually have a category that is only Act 1. So it's like 1 hour and 20 minutes, something like that. So if you want to run the game, a good entry-level category is just plain Act 1. So if you guys are interested in that, you are more than welcome to join the Discord and start running Ghost of Tsushima.
Sure.
This time, we'll take it.
We need to clear the courtyard. Quietly. Head on.
Your move.
So here we again use all our fire, all our bombs, for cleaning this part of the Mongols. And here we're going to use the Mongol weapons. In the next, I mean, Lady Masako is going to use that actually.
Can you operate the Hwacha?
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of quick fights coming up. So we just resolve with a lot of fire arrows, explosive arrows, or bombs.
Jin, the gate's guarded.
Follow my lead.
So things will progress very quickly here.
And here again we use some bombs. Luckily this guy is not scared, but easy kill. And this is one of my favorite skills in the entire game. It's so fun to do. So here you basically need to go to the right and kind of use some points, but you can actually go through this bridge and just YOLO and grab that tree there. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to do. It skips like this whole section where you need to go over and under the bridge.
Yeah, it's like I imagine Yuna like, what are you doing? Oh no, it's alright.
I could use Yuna's help.
This is the one of the last sections, and here is Ash using actually the blowgun for the last time for killing the leader.
There you are.
So the leaders are actually, when you silent kill him, you get one full ghost dance, but it's kind of a slow animation when you do that.
Oh, that wasn't in the script.
Oh, that was weird.
That was really weird. I was in the animation to attack him actually, but the guy was just like, nope, not gonna do that today, buddy.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Me neither. I don't like it. Because now we have to do all this again, and we don't have the poison dart anymore. And that is a little bit of an unfortunate time loss there.
More gods ahead.
And here we open the door for our allies. And yeah, Jin already said that Ryuso failed him. So they actually didn't came to the fight. So it's only Jin, Sensei Shikawa, Yuna, and Lady Masako. I wonder why Ryuso didn't come.
Probably nothing bad's gonna happen, isn't it?
Just hungry.
Again.
He felt hungry and didn't come. Yeah, and here we need to kill everybody so we can continue. And you can see the quest in the top left corner. Tell us that we already set, and we just continue and see what's happening here.
Good luck, Jin.
But because we already know Aeshmah change outfit. Oh, this is a surprise. Yeah, Ryuso actually betrayed Jin, and this is the first duel of the run. And we put the Sakai armor, the clan Sakai armor that is basically pure and ultimate damage. It has only damage. So we can do 3 Dance of Wrath. We save all our resolve for that. And this is actually a quite fast fight with that. And here we change outfit again because we like to terrify enemies. And yeah, hopefully we're close to Lord Shimura here. So you can see the castle in the background. There is a 2 big guys here, but this smoke bomb is really good strat. And 2 archers, and they are already gone. So here there is a standoff.
Where is Lord Shimura?
Yeah, Aeshmah is going to do it. So on story, on easy difficulty, we don't do this standoff, we skip it. But because this is lethal, we need the resolve as soon as we can. So Aeshmah is obviously doing the standoff for that. But we do have a strat for skipping this standoff because, as I said before, all the preparation of the standoff is quite slow. So if you can avoid that, it's really good.
Yeah, it also just adds a little bit of a safety to it because, as I said before, we can use our resolve to revive ourselves should we die. And, you know, we don't have any resolve after the duel against Ryuzo because we used it all for the Dances of Wrath against him. But now we have a lot of it again.
Yeah, it's a nice backup to have. And we have now unlocked this awesome... I don't remember the name. How is Daisuke? Suchi? Something like that?
Yeah.
That assassination through the door.
Shoji
And
assassination,
now,
yeah.
yeah, and now we save Lord Shimura. As you can see, he's there with Jin. And again, we just spawn some explosives. So the enemies, I mean, are we can clean the castle and use it as a base.
And one more wave.
For the fallen warriors of Tsushima, lady the buckle, let no one retreat.
And that is the end of Act 1.
Well fought.
Nice. So yeah, if you want to run Act 1, you stop the time when this quest appear on the screen. And yeah, it's a really nice category to begin with Ghost of Tsushima. And Lord Shimura is safe.
Woohoo!
Hooray!
Did we win now? We basically did, right? We saved him. War's over. Not quite.
Lord Shimura is in the main keep.
Yeah, so maybe you can tell us what's your nickname for Lord Shimura now that he's safe.
Shall we tell him now?
You have your uncle, Jin. You don't need me.
So, as you can tell by the dialogue here, Lord Shimura is actually Jin's uncle. However, as we also learned during the story, Lord Shimura also plans to formally adopt Jin because Jin's family is dead, and Lord Shimura actually cared for him for all of his life, basically. And one of my viewers in chat once started calling Lord Shimura the Uncle Dad, which we then subsequently immediately went ahead and shortened to Dad Uncle, and from that then was born the Dunkle.
Only the best for you.
So it's actually just Dunkle. Yeah, not Lord Shimura, it's just Dunkle.
Yeah, so in all the flashbacks and all the story that we skip, you actually know how the relationship between them is, and how important it's actually for Jin and for Lord Shimura the relationship that they have, and yeah, how Lord Shimura is basically the father figure for Jin.
That's like one of the main plot points of the whole game is like their relationship to each other.
The bridge is out.
And it's really well done, like definitely no doubt about that. Like you can really feel the connection between the two.
I didn't free you sooner.
You have nothing to apologize for, Jin.
Yeah, and now
speaking
we
of which,
go
though, we do have a bid war going on, you know, or deciding the fate of Lord Shimura. So if you want, you can go ahead and donate money to that, and also help out a good cause.
He wanted me to aid his conquest.
Yeah, so if you want to save him, or I mean, we already spoiled the final, right?
Nah.
If you want to kill him or spare him, yeah, there is a donation incentive for choosing the end.
Yuna is brave, loyal.
And here is a really long, conversation. So again, going in the horse is quite slow. So we just jump and jump until we can call our horse again and sprinting with it.
Long ago, chaos ruled this island. It was the samurai who brought order and unified all of Tsushima. We must show our people that honorable samurai still fight for this land.
I really don't like this quest. I don't know what it is. It's just... I hate doing this part. Horse. Could you come over here, please?
The past cannot hurt
Just standing there, staring off into the distance. What did you see, horsey?
And also the issue is with these long walks is that in some cases you can go faster, but Ghost of Tsushima has this thing that if you get that far from an NPC, the NPC is gonna stop walking and you have to go back, and he only can move if you are like in close range.
So basically, you're getting punished for going too fast. So, you know, you want to go fast, but you don't want to go too fast. You have to, like, balance it out a bit.
You can imagine how speedrunners feel about that.
For sure.
Yeah, here we are going to kill this patrol, and luckily we hit the horses because I mean they are bigger. They are bigger, so it's more easy to aim. And here we again go with Lord Chimura to this fort, which is again full with Mongols. And again, and here it is.
Where are you going, dude? Like, he really needed to do that U-turn, huh? You couldn't just follow me.
Have taken our lighthouse.
Yeah, baby NPCs, man. They can't move without you, even though you are in their island. Yeah, this is Fort Ito, so here is full with Mongols, and now that Lord Chimura is free, he can start like putting more samurais together and start to recover all the things that the Mongols already like take, and this fort is one of them.
I'm really not having a lot of luck with my tower fights today.
Yeah, it's one of those days. I would really like to know like the exact percentage of that. And yeah, a really nice thing about Ghost of Tsushima when you have to like kill one enemy is that a little icon appears on them. So you can like kind of watch where they are, and once you kill everybody inside, you go outside, and Yuna tells you that is luckily a gunpowder basically a barrel shipment coming, so you can just throw a bomb there and the whole thing is gonna blow up.
Except for that one guy.
Always that guy.
Who started running at us like a champ.
You're ready to fight for...
God damn it.
And yeah, so as you can well, we didn't say that, but after the prologue battle, the battle on Komoda Beach, Jin was like really hurt, and Yuna actually saved him. But Yuna is actually a thief. He survived by stealing food and stuff like that. So Lord Chimura doesn't have like a high opinion of her.
And that's basically another one of the big story points of the game, the distrust between Lord Chimura and Yuna.
Yeah, so as you can see already, Lord Chimura is trying to like separate Jin from Yuna by telling, oh, she's a thief. You already trust Ryuzo. Why is different with her? But Yuna is being with you the whole Act 1.
The Khan sees this.
So that's something that obviously Jin have in mind. And after this, we meet one of the greatest characters in the game. I really like this character that we're going to meet.
Yeah, it is Norio, the warrior monk. Basically our new best friend forever.
Yeah. So Norio is another one of these characters that you meet only once in the run, but he has a whole story that you can follow and know the full story about Norio, and it's actually a really heartbroken story. It's a really good. I really like it.
He's also the only main character in the game, so to speak, that you do not have to do any quests for. Like, if you remember in Act 1, we had to do at least one quest for Sensei Ishikawa and Lady Masako, and then a whole bunch for Ryuzo. But for Norio, nope. We're not gonna do any of his quests, like, at all. So, sorry, Norio. We'll be seeing you around, I guess.
Yeah, in 100% runs, you see Norio. if only they exist.
Yeah,
so
one day we will run the platinum percent. One day.
So as you can see in the screen, Act 2 just begun. And as you can see, it says Isuhara is under attack. And we said at the beginning that you need to go to point A to point B without a compass, for example. So the thing that I did when I started running Tsushima was actually open the map and put a marker so I can know where I need to go. But if you open the map right here, because you have that alert, the map is going to open really slowly, have a really nice animation that Isuhara is under attack. So you actually lose some time if you have to open the map of the menu right now.
Yeah, and that notification will basically stay on screen until I start the next main quest around like that. So until I get there, you definitely do not want to open the map if you can avoid it. But on the flip side, it is a really long ride that we're gonna do here, so you really just have to know your way around the landscape.
Yeah, and one thing that we had to do, or we want to do while going to the next quest, is activating this village here, Akashima, because again, we're going to use this point for fast travel later for another quest.
But yeah, other than that, you know, if you have any donations to read or something to block, go ahead and do so. Because this would just be me riding around the landscape for a little while here. Nothing too exciting happening right now.
Hey, just want to remind everybody then that, we're trying to raise money for direct relief, trying to help people that are suffering from issues with COVID and other things, and that we are currently trying to get save Shimura up there tied with Kill, or at least better, to make Aeshmah's life a little bit harder for everybody. So let's at least get some money in there for save, because we can't make the run too easy for the guy. Yeah, I'll go ahead and post another link down there. Please get your donations in. I think it's probably going to end in about 2 hours, I'm assuming. Well, not 2 hours, but an hour and like 40 minutes or something. So get that in there.
Yeah, you have the life of Lord Shimura in your own hands.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You will die or live for money. So,
Well, lately he's doing that really often.
For sure.
Yeah. So again, here in this routing, every runner has a little bit of a difference in this route, and so in this act we have a couple of missions. One of them is to go to Yarikawa, which is like a city or a village that has some history with Lord Shimura. They are the Yarikawa rebels. They rebelled to the Jito, to the shogunate. So they have a quote-unquote army, and yeah, they can really help against the Mongols. So Jin is going to Yarikawa and try to convince people there to join the cause of kicking the Mongol from the island.
Were you here when the Yarikawa rebellion broke out?
No.
But of course, they need a little bit of convincing to actually go ahead and join our side here because of their bad relations with Lord Shimura. So, yeah, let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, lucky for Jin, Yuna and Taka, they were actually born in Yarikawa. So at least Jin has a little bit of a entry of some sort for going to Yarikawa.
I don't want to see this.
We've seen worse.
But this was home.
Sooner or later, everyone has to return home.
The other two things that you need to do here on Act 2 is to send a message to the Shogun that the island is under attack. and recover Castle Shimura, which is, as you can imagine, the castle of Lord Shimura.
Hidden entrance used to be over there.
Yeah, so for the people not in the know, you can actually, or rather the order in which I do the quest is actually not set in stone. Can always, you always have a selection of a few quests at any given time. It's just that the order in which we routed them like flows really nicely together. So we actually don't have to do a lot of writing in between them. Or rather, that the end of one quest neatly puts us closer to the beginning of the next one.
Is that why you left?
Yeah, in that case, when I joined the community, the routing was already set. But man, it's really fun to try to figure it out, like where to go first, so all the things are in the way. I think that's a really fun part of the speedrun of the game.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you know, every runner has their own little variation on how he gets from one quest to the next. And it could very well be that our routing is actually not optimal still, you know, that there may be another route that we haven't thought of yet that would actually still be a little bit faster. So, you know, if you think that you might have found a faster route, go ahead, join the Discord and tell us about it.
Yeah, you can join right now. Only by 199. It's not that type of. Okay, so here is a really cool trick, as you can see. In this part, you can sprint and you can't jump. So actually, doing the Dance of Wrath is really fast there. And you can cancel the animation of putting away the sword by aiming the bow. And you here need to trigger this next dialogue. So if you YOLO that jump there, you actually get into the place where the cutscene happened. So the game says, "Oh, you can't be here, so let's trigger the cutscene."
Let's go.
And that saves like roughly 11 seconds.
Lord Shimura won't get his army.
Don't worry. They're too stubborn.
I mean, 11 seconds might not sound as much when you are, you know, facing a 3.5 hour run, but it just starts adding up with saving 11 seconds there and another 10 seconds there and so on and so forth, and all of a sudden you're saving minutes or like half an hour and stuff like that. It really just keeps adding up.
Yeah, and because it's just like a really easy trick, you actually you are not going to make a mistake there, and I don't think so. It's just doing one thing and climbing a ladder and jumping to another place, so you can know that those 11 seconds are there for you anytime you want.
Exactly.
And again, we saw here Ash setting the weapons for the next quest. And yeah, so we basically meet with the leader of Yarikawa, and now we're going to see what the army is doing. Some archers of Yarikawa went missing, so I wonder where they are.
Yeah, so basically we think that if we find these missing archers, the people of Yarikawa may actually start trusting us a little bit more, because at the moment they definitely are not. So hopefully we can find them and then convince the people to actually try and help us. Because you might have seen it, you might have not, is that the Mongols are actually laying siege to the village of Yarikawa at the moment. But the Yarikawans are just like, nah, they will just lose interest and leave for the mainland. They won't actually attack us. So they think they are safe, but they very well are not.
Yes, and so we already said that the Yarikawa rebels, there was kind of a civil war between the samurais and them. And this part here is actually all Yarikawa, which are the ruins of that fight that happened some time ago.
Can you tell where they went?
Let's find out.
We used to come here to catch crickets.
So here, one of the scariest enemies is going to appear in a couple of seconds. So hopefully Ash is ready for this horrible battle that's going to take place.
I hope so.
Shortly.
It's going to be really bloody.
The tracks lead to this house.
Didn't the samurai?
So we are just like looking for hints, so we can know. Oh, poor bear, man. Yeah.
Sleeping here.
Poor bear was inside. And here is gonna be a little trick that it says maybe like 5 seconds. When you go close to Yuna, activate that line of dialogue and then look at the gunpowder barrels, and that cancel the dialogue of Yuna and save a couple of seconds.
Like I said, it's these small optimizations that just start adding up. It's saving a lot of time in the long run.
There they are.
Also, there are the archers that we're looking for. Hooray, we found them.
Keep your heads
Yay.
down and don't call out.
But of course, as it turns out, it's not all of them, because once again, about half of them have actually been captured by the Mongols. So we're not gonna go ahead and save the rest of them,
The archers from
because of course we do.
The Mongols, I think they have a bad rep, but they only capture people and they let them alive, so we can go and save them. So I don't know what's the big deal with them.
At least the plot important people they capture and leave alive, yeah. Alright, so coming up is one of the, well, most RNG battles in the game, I want to say. Because the enemy spawns, or the enemy reinforcement spawns here are really iffy, I think. So
yeah, I hate this battle.
See if we can get some good spawns here.
Yeah. My goal for this and my actual like PV is way too far one or the other. But yeah, so these battles, even though they are kind of scripted, the fact that some enemies get scared and one others not, that obviously make people running away, and yeah, you just need to like find the like the rhythm for these battles. And as you can see, Ash is using the flaming sword, and a really good thing about the flaming sword is that even though the enemy has like a shield, all the strikes with the flaming arrow, the flaming sword, they can't block it. So it's a really nice strat for big guys, lancer guys, or the leaders.
So that fight wasn't the best, but it definitely was not the worst either. So it was something in the middle there. Like I had to, try to find the last few enemies for quite a while there. So that lost me a bit of time, but still okay.
Lord Sakai.
Yeah, and so now we save these guys here. We defeat some Mongols, and now people of Yarikawa is already thinking about us.
I almost forgot. Yuna is in the key.
So we basically now have their trust, they believe us, and we now brace ourselves for the inevitable attack of the Mongols against Yarikawa.
Yeah, and as you can see, Ash is buying some good stuff for the fight, and luckily this guy is right here next to the path, so we can go and buy some stuff. And in difference to another games, when you go to a merchant, the world doesn't stop. All the things that are happening keep happening outside.
Oop.
And Yuna is up here, and we're gonna talk to her. In this cutscene, well, they both get drunk, and yeah, the night came, and the Mongols are outside, ready for entering Yarikawa.
So this is probably the favorite quest of quite a lot of people, because it's like this really cinematic quest where you're, defending Yarikawa against these invaders at night, helping all of them.
Yeah, it's a really nice quest. I mean, when you do this in your like normal playthrough, obviously the enemies just enter and you just go and try to kill everybody. Here is going to be a little bit different because we know exactly where they spawn and how to manage them. And at the point that no one enters, I mean, those guys enter and they already dead there, and because we know all the guys are coming from here, they die way outside.
And that's it.
And yeah, really easy. So I can see how the Yarikawa people is already impressed by this. So in the next part, we're going to exploit again the fact the use of the bombs. So the bombs can take Jin out of
combat
battle of the combat, right? And yeah, so as you can see some trebuchet or catapults. I don't know. They are like destroying Yarikawa. But we can just throw a bomb there and we can destroy the trebuchet without killing anybody there.
So normally would have to defeat all these enemies around the catapults, but if you just drop a smoke bomb near it, well, we've seen what happens.
Yeah, and so now we already destroyed the those big weapons, and now we can go back again inside Yarikawa and see what's happening inside the main castle or the main house of the fort. So, and again, we are exploring this thing when we roll, so all the enemies here don't see us.
You could just run to this gate and just drop a smoke bomb to go through it, but it's just a little bit safer to just roll through it because you would have to wait for this conversation here to finish before you can enter it anyway. So you would have to wait a little bit around here while these enemies are staring down you. So yeah, it's just a little bit safer to just roll here and don't get any attention of the enemies in the first place. And then we are off to our next duel. We have equipped our Sakai armor, so you probably know what's going to happen right now.
Yeah, you can already tell when I put the armor. You can already tell what's happening. Yeah, and here's Temuge. He is the general of this faction of the Mongols. And again, we're going to use Dance of Wrath. So lethal, you have to get all your results for this part because the duel on lethal zone, as the name said, actually really lethal. Parry is more difficult. The enemies do a lot of damage. So yeah, you want to have all your resolve right there. And man, this amazing shot of the ghost dance. So this is the first time that you get the ghost dance in the normal playthrough. And yeah, this is a really cinematic part of the game. I really like it.
So basically what the ghost dance is, if you manage to kill 7 enemies without getting hit in between, you fill up your ghost dance and then you can activate it and it allows you to instantly kill 3 enemies. It sounds really good on paper, but it's not that great for speedrun simply because those 3 kills that you do in Ghost Dance are exempt from any charm effects. So even though we kill enemies with the Ghost Dance, that doesn't actually trigger any, Terrify effect, for example, if we had the Ghost Armor equipped. So, it takes way too long for the animation to go through anyway, and it would just, start losing your time. That is why we basically don't use it during a speedrun.
Yeah, and sometimes can be a little bit of annoyed because I don't know if this has happened to you, Ash, but I sometimes when I playing I'm so stressed with the game that I just press by accident the 2 buttons and I just hear the thunder in the middle of nowhere and it's just losing time for free.
No, that's actually not happened to me enough. Luckily, I guess. But now that you've told me about it, it will probably happen to me. Because I can very clearly remember that there is one point at the beginning of Act 3 that we will come to later that I have never died at until somebody has pointed out to me that, hey, you can actually die at that point. And from that point onward, it was just, chaos for me because I actually started dying.
Well, sorry.
You should be. But yeah, the next quest that we are coming up is probably the most boring one, at least from a speedrunning perspective, because there is absolutely no reason for us to actually do this quest. Because what's going to happen is we are going to ride to Omi village, which is actually Jin's hometown. And there's a lot of story going on there and background story and whatnot that we're going to learn. But we're going to skip all of that because, you know, it's New Game Plus. Of course we can skip all of the cutscenes. So that doesn't serve us any point. And then the point of that quest is that we actually go ahead and get Jin's family armor, the Sakai armor, which we are actually wearing right now. So, you know, we don't actually need to get that because we have it. And the third reason is we are supposed to get the blowgun, which we also have. So, yeah, from a New Game Plus perspective, there's absolutely no reason to do this quest whatsoever.
Yeah, the only justification that I will think is that you can meet Yuriko, which is a really nice, cute grandma. But other than that, yeah, Aeshmah is completely right. There is no point going to Omi village at this point. And yeah, that's why, as you can see, Ash didn't change armor to the ghost back, because we are going to Omi village to put this armor. So if you change armor for, I don't know, like maybe you're riding safer, it doesn't make any sense at all. So we don't change the armor here that we use for the duel. So it seems like a couple of seconds by not changing or doing this quest in another point of the Act 2.
Also, what's really interesting is if I were to wear the ghost armor right now, for instance, and I will do this quest now and get the Sakai armor during the quest, Jin would automatically put on the Sakai armor, but he would do so with the charm loadout that I had equipped on the ghost armor. So it would basically override the charm loadout that I have on the Sakai armor and that I want for the duels. And that, of course, would be bad, because I would then have to go into the menu and put all these charms back on. So it's just, you know, a nice bit of routing here that we actually do this quest right after we did the duel against Temugi anyway, because right now we are wearing the Sakai armor. We don't have to menu to change our armors.
Omi village.
Yeah. So here we are on Omi village, Jin's hometown. And we're going to basically go to our house, meet Yuriko, which is like kind of the maid here, I think.
Yeah, she's the caretaker, basically.
Yeah. And yeah, she basically knows Jin from when he was a child. He has been with the family all his life, so yeah, we have some cute backstory here from Yuriko.
I'm glad you're not alone.
Also, Yuriko is probably the only character that you actually cannot hurry along by jumping alongside her. Like, she will go at her own pace no matter what. So, yeah. Enjoy some rather slow walking here.
I mean, like every grandma. You can hurry grandmas, right?
You'll have to tell me
For
more
sure.
about that
I mean,
someday.
technically, you could push her along by just walking into her a bit from behind, but you know, it will save you about a second or two. But I'm just not a grandma pusher. Like, you know, I'd rather take the time loss than have to push a grandma. So I'm
yeah, and maybe censor the video as well.
Lord Sakai,
I will not be known as a grandma pusher.
Yeah, so here now we go to our family cemetery, and we are going to actually speedrun some poetry right now.
Compose a haiku.
Yeah, so you can. I'm gonna actually keep quiet, and so you guys can contemplate the beautiful animation of this part.
Moment of silence.
I mourn my father. We used to meditate here. Now I am alone.
Yeah, so basically you can do some haikus on the island, and every time you do one, you get how you say that
A headband.
a headband, and you actually can go to the menu and see the headband and read the haiku that you compose. And I think it's a really nice touch. I really like the idea of doing those in my normal playthrough, and you actually in the run you have to do two, and this is one of them.
I think there are about 22 or something in total. If you were to go in through the world and find all of them. But yeah, you do have to do 2 of them during the story progression, but we don't do anything else.
Yeah, and one nice perk of the the Sakai armor is I think you when it's fully upgraded, you can do 2 more standoff, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
But there is again the tutorial for the standoff, so you can do more. But again, it's faster to go there and do a chain assassination because all the animation of the standoff is really slow.
Yeah, especially against these Strawhead run because they advance upon you like really slowly. So it's like a huge time loss, and we don't actually need any resolve right now. So we can just, you know, skip the standoff and go straight for these smoke bomb assassinations.
And here I put the ghost armor again because now we need it. And this is actually the part when we get the blowgun. Because Yuriko is using poison for getting the plagues away from the food. And Jin tell her that maybe she can tell to him how to make the poison, so he can use the poison against the Mongols. So this is the quest when you get the blowgun. So if you use the blowgun after this quest, you are gonna get the flashback. So we are not gonna use the blowgun anymore.
Perfect for a blowgun. I'll get these to Yuriko.
Okay, that went about as good as it could have, I think. Got the rees nice and easy.
That was nice. Yeah, and obviously Yuriko is kind of doubtful about telling you how to do it, but at the end of the day, she's always going to make everything for Jin. There you go.
But we're not quite done with the quest just yet, as now we have a blowgun, but we don't have the poison darts yet, so we gotta follow Yuriko around just a little while longer till we can actually find some poison and learn how to make it.
Yeah, and as you can see in the subtitles and the audio, Yuriko is telling Jin stories about how he was when he was a child, some stories with Lord Shimura, with his father, and after the meeting with Yuriko, you actually unlock a quest line for her, and it's a really sad
You and Lord Shimura taught me
quest
to ride.
line of Yuriko.
Yeah, but it's also really touching. Like, I think everybody I've talked to about that particular quest line was able to resonate with it because it's just really well written, and I think a lot of people have come into a similar situation, you know, where they have seen, like, especially their grandparents, like, get older and start suffering from dementia, forgetting things, and starting to talk about a lot about, you know, childhood stories and stuff like that, and it's really touchingly done.
What's so funny?
I just remembered it was
Yeah, it's a really I mean, it's sad, but at the same time it's relatable how the story is told, and you kind of feel grateful that the Mongols are not here and Yuriko can just
I know the story.
do his thing.
Black eye took weeks to heal.
And yeah, so this quest give you the poison dart, but Yuriko actually get there and you can continue the quest and get the hallucination dart.
My father's laugh.
But because this is in Plus, we have everything, all the darts that we need.
After your mother got sick. But you
Have your father's laugh. Here we are.
A gozamet and a campfire. You sleep out here?
Alright, let's grab some poison.
Foraging for plants. I'll look for the flowers we need.
Yeah, so these purple flowers, they are in all the island, and these ones are the one that we pick at the beginning, so for some uses. But yeah, this again, you pick the flowers, she tells you how to make the poison, and you have a little bit of a tutorial again, and then you can go your way.
It's also important to not skip this particular cutscene where Jin goes to the cliff to watch the Strawhead Ronin, because I've definitely had problems with the camera locking in, and it was like really awkward to get out of it again. So, just watch that scene. Don't skip it so you don't mess up the camera.
Are you hurt, young master?
Yeah, so after that really graphic death of that Strawhead Ronin, yeah, this is the Yuriko's. I mean, this is Ghost from the Past quest. Now it's complete, so we get the blowgun, we know how to make the poison, and we have the Clan Sakai armor. So that's the point of this quest.
So that means only one quest line remains for now that we can do, which is to try and get a message to mainland Japan and actually tell the Shogun what the hell is happening on Tsushima Island, because the Mongols have, of course, erected a barricade at sea, so no ships and information can get from Tsushima Island to the mainland.
Yeah, so instead of sending an email, Lord Shimura tell Jin to go and find a Mortal Kombat character to some place here.
Something like that.
So yeah, so the mainland can know that they are actually under siege, and can send some help. So this is again Jin going from point A to point B to this hidden place called Umugi Cove, where the Mongols. It is a kind of a hidden place that the Mongols don't know, and here is this again Mortal Kombat character that somehow can go through the Mongol line in the sea and get to the mainland and deliver this message.
Go smash! But anyway, if you have any donations to read or anything to plug or something like that, go ahead, because this is just more writing for now.
Hey, just gonna check in with our normal thing here for the save and kill. Please, let's get save in here, just because I think it'd be pretty fun. I'm gonna keep plugging that away. Also, we hit the $442, which is definitely incredible. I want to thank every single donator, every single other runner and person that's a part of this, helping out such a great cause. Direct Relief is helping a lot of people right now, especially with all these COVID times. So if you can, give a buck, $2, anything you can give is definitely very much appreciated. So do that. Let us know if you want to save Shimura or if you want to kill Shimura, but just click save Shimura and we'll definitely put it in there for you.
Just kill him. Yeah. It's less people that need relief then, I guess. Wait. Don't take that out of context. Oh, please don't take that out of context. Oh, Jesus Christ. What have I done? I should have
so
said
by the
that.
way, killing or letting Lord Shimura live is either faster or slower. It's the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will definitely go for a battle between being alive or being dead. So yeah, please donate, and so we can have a bid war. So okay, so we are already getting into Umugi Cove, this secret place where is this? It is Goro. That's the name of the guy, and yeah, somehow he can go through the Mongol line, and we need his help.
First of all, we gotta say hello to Lady Sanjo, character who is running this smuggler's cove here.
Welcome to Umugi Cove.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because every side character
Come
that
see
you
me
meet,
again sometime.
for example, Lady
I
Sanjo,
think we can
they
help
all
each
have
other.
side quests.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sad that we I mean, it's not sad because it will be slower, but in the run we meet a bunch of people and all of them have side quests, but in the run we just met with them once. And yeah, this is Goro. I don't know if he's going to do it right now, but he has a trick that he can speak when he's drinking. And yeah, he has a map that we need, so we can continue.
Even you, Goro.
I don't know if I can.
As you can see, he can he can speak and drink at the same time, so that's a really nice.
He's just a guy of many talents.
Yeah.
This is my home. Come in. Getting past that Mongol blockade.
But yeah, he's basically a smuggler, and he has ways to circumvent this Mongol sea blockade. And let's see if he can find a way to do that.
Work with that. One of my boats is hidden near
Yeah, I'm so impatient in this part. I just want to have the map. Give it.
Open up, Goro! I didn't call for.
And yeah, this is where we need the Akashima village fast travel option that we got way at the beginning of Act 2, like half an hour ago or so. Finally use it.
Yeah. And as you can see, there is a little screen here, loading screen. And man, Ghost of Tsushima has one of the quickest loading screen that I know of. Definitely. For being a late gen game, man, loading screens are crazy fast.
But yeah, we are now on our way to Lord Shimura's camp, because Lord Shimura actually didn't give us the message to give to Goro. He just told us to go basically and fetch Goro so that he himself can give the message to him. And now we're gonna tell Lord Shimura, hey, Goro has this boat near camp, so let's go ahead and meet there and see how this goes.
Yeah, so actually, Lord Shimura is going to tell us a really interesting story about how he met Goro and yeah, I mean, you know that the whole thing with the game of Ghost of Tsushima is Jin becoming the ghost, which means he fighting in a not samurai way, like with no honor, quote unquote honor. And so in the entirety of the game, Jin has this internal issue of if this saving the island is worth of losing like my honorable status. And yeah, the fact that the Lord Shimura tell this story here, yeah, I think it's something that Jin take really seriously in his journey becoming the ghost.
The Mongols have many ships.
I just gotta be a little bit careful here that all the NPCs actually follow us and are close to us, because we will need all of them to trigger the next cutscene. So if any of them get caught up on any geometry or something like that, that could mean a little bit of a time loss here. Of course, we don't want that.
Yeah, that never happened, right? NPCs getting stuck in places, that never happened in Ghost of Tsushima.
Of course not. How could that ever happen? Oop. Oh, I'm getting caught on something.
Perhaps we can direct their attention elsewhere.
That's karma right there.
We walk from here.
Okay, is everybody on board?
My father took that stronghold from Clan.
Dude, what are you doing over there? Can you just come here?
God damn it.
Dude! My god! He's having a big LT break. Alright, still faster than having to reload the checkpoint, but my god, that was painful. But yeah, as you can see, the NPC pathing can just get up get messed up a little bit from time to time, and since you need all of the NPCs to be in a specific place to trigger the next progression point, that can just be a little bit painful from time to time.
Yeah, the game really hate us being going so fast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is, if I remember correctly, Fort Mitodake.
Yes.
And yeah, there is something that can happen here with the door. Hopefully it's not. But yeah, we're just going to Michael Bay our way to the door using explosives as much as we can. And yeah, Ghost of Tsushima has doors that open and closes, but they don't do that on their own. The NPCs close and open the doors that sometimes can glitch them.
Yeah, because of this terrify effect that we have, this can sometimes work with the NPCs that are supposed to open or close these doors as well. And then they are just getting stuck in the animation and you cannot progress. And that is actually what happened the last time I've run this during the marathon where I got my PB. And that definitely lost me a minute or even more. So the fact that we didn't get it this time makes me a little bit hopeful.
Yeah, the doors are an issue here. So now we need to wait till Lord Shimura to open this door. And we're going to use a little bit of a skip here.
Yeah, or not.
Going... Or maybe not. And now we just need to go to the end of this path. And there is a Wacha there. Which is like that weapon right there. It's like a missile launcher. I don't know how to say it. Like it shoot like arrows with explosives, and obviously they are now using it against us. But we need to go to that place as fast as we can, so we can use it ourselves. And avoiding these doggies right here, which are really annoying. You can say that doggies are cute in real life, but man, in video games are just a pain.
Yeah, burn in hell.
Yeah, I just like doggies on real life. I don't like virtual doggies.
Definitely not. Especially these doggies. They are the worst.
Yeah, and this mission in particular have you can actually go to, get to this place a little bit early, but the checkpoint system of this game is just insane. You have to go through all the checkpoints, so all the skips that we could find to go to there faster, we can't use them, sadly.
Like the QA team from Sucker Punch, the developers of the game, really have to be applauded for how well they programmed this game, and well, the fact that they probably found all the bugs and glitches that came from programming. But it makes us really sad as speedrunners because there's really not a lot that you can do or use to make this run go any faster than it is actually intended.
Yes. So this is now, well, in the cutscene, Lord Shimura didn't have us to use this weapon because it's not the honorable way, but we're going to use it anyways because I mean it's the best thing. So Goro is indeed in that boat, and we just need to clean all the Mongol forces, so we can let Goro go to the mainland and ask for help.
Just a few more boats coming from somewhere over there, so I'm just laying down some preemptive fire. Hopefully I will catch them really quickly. And there we go.
Yeah, and if you have doubts, the boats that try to intercept Goro, they always came from the same places. And we just get raped by the second master. Thank you so much.
Ooh, raid! But yeah, Goro made it through the sea blockade, so all quests done? Question mark?
Yeah, this just could be maybe a couple of months, right, for the Goro to get to the mainland and coming back with reinforcements.
I don't think it would take that long, but a couple of days at least. Maybe weeks. I think months is a little bit pushing it.
I work metals, woods, and cloth.
Okay, so we are here on
Worthy of a samurai.
the base of Lord Chimura, and this point actually we activated when we were going for Omi Village. So now we can fast travel back, and now we are going to talk to our uncle, and then we are talking to Yuna, and then we're going to go and find the traders in Fort. Oh, I forgot the name.
Koyasan?
Koyasan, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can get really mixed up with all the names of the forts that you go to in this game because there are quite a lot.
If I could just interject for a second.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so Razor has updated. I don't know if everyone's seen the chat, but Razor has updated everything. He has now made our stretch goal for the weekend $1,000, considering we're already almost halfway there, and we're not even done the first night. Again, we want to throw out a giant thank you to everyone that has donated this evening. Y'all have been truly wonderful. It's been awe-inspiring, considering last time, I think we did $350 over the weekend, which is already more, about like $100 more than we were hoping to do that time back in November. So thank you so very much. It's been a crazy year or crazy year and a half, I think, for everybody around the world. And Direct Relief is trying to help those that have been hit by it the hardest. So, you know, give some money, and we make jokes, but either kill or save for tonight. But honestly, all your money is going to a wonderful place that's going to help a lot of people. So definitely check out the website. I'll be posting in the description. If we do hit our stretch goal by the end of the marathon, Razor has just told me that we'll add a backup run to the end of the marathon. So maybe some fun extra stuff might be happening, question mark. Thinky face? I don't know, but we'll figure it out, and if we get to 1,000, we're gonna definitely try to do something cool for everybody. So we also have some other incentives. I believe we have, check it out, tomorrow stuff with Fire Emblem incentives. Our Steep King stuff's already been hit, so but I'm gonna stop talking and take away too much time from this great run here. But thank you to everybody so much. So yeah, donate if you can.
Awesome. I'll keep donating, guys. I mean, it just means more content and more runs, huh?
Lord Sakai, please wake up.
Nice. So,
I knew you were in trouble.
okay, so now we are
I
caught.
came to help, but the Mongols got me.
We get caught by Ryuzo, by the Straw Hat Ronin here, and we skip a little bit of a quest. So the point of this quest was Taka to lure the enemies outside the fort, so Jin can sneak and open the door. But instead of doing that, as soon as the door opened, we just YOLO inside the thing, use the exploit with the bomb so we can open the door without being in combat, and that means that the game is kinda glitching right now, because you are going to be able to hear some Mongols, because we didn't do that quest as intended. So the Mongols are there but they are not there. So we are going to be hearing some Mongols in the background while they are not there.
Yeah, they're really angry at us, I think.
Yeah, some invisible Mongols are shouting at us. Okay, here we need to kill some Ronin, and compared to the Mongol enemies, Ronins are really good at fighting. Really good at fighting. So we're going to use our boss weapons, some fire, some kunais, so we can take them as soon as we can.
And of course I had to go back and find one straggler. Because of course I had to.
Always one guy. So yeah, this is the part. Actually, in this cutscene, you can hear Yuna's. Well, sadly, Yuna's brother Taka just died in the cutscene, and in this cutscene, you can hear Yuna scream when she finds the body, right? But on the Japanese version, she doesn't scream.
Yeah, that's right. Somehow just silence.
Yeah.
Which also is quite effectful, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, both things have something, right?
Yep.
I mean, the silent is quite touching as well. And an interesting stuff is when we got caught, we were with another outfit. We didn't have our gear, and when we got our gear back, all the things that we have actually go to default. So all the things that we have at when this quest started, now they change, and we have like the default stuff, default bombs, default arrows, default kunais, and stuff like that.
Yeah, so basically, even if you upgraded the capacity, like how many bombs you were able to carry, like you say you upgraded that from 2 to 5, you would still only have a maximum of 2 bombs after you get captured there for whatever reason. So it basically resets your inventory a little bit. And yeah, the Mongols are still screaming at us, but after we do the next quick travel, it's finally gone.
Yeah, Mongols are just screaming without even being there. And yeah, this glitch is because we did that quest and not as was intended. But now that we fast traveled back to Lord Chimura's base, now that glitch it's over.
I'm Lord.
And ta-da! Now the samurais are here. So Goro got to the mainland, and somehow these guys went through the blockade, and now they are here to help us get out the Mongols of the island.
Just for you. May your hunts be safe.
So you saw me prepare pretty heavily right there in that shopping menu, and that has very good reason, because we are fast approaching the end of Act 2 here. And that means we have another big battle coming up, as we will now try and retake Castle Shimura, which is the main Mongol outpost at the moment. So, you know, we're trying to strike at the Mongols fast and hard here now.
Yeah, so we went buying, as you can see, the merchant was right there. So you don't lose as much time if you obviously do the menuing really fast. And now we are going to go with Lord Oga to the lighthouse, so we can talk to our Danko and prepare for the next battle. So the next battle is actually taking back the Lord Shimura's castle. Yeah, it's a really interesting fight, actually.
No, there's a lot of stuff going to happen there.
It's time we save this island and the people who call it home.
And as you can see, the Lord Oga is already questioning Jin being the ghost. Because, yeah, I mean, in war in this case, you always hear about the morale of the army, and the ghost being something that people can believe. And the ghost dance that terrified enemies obviously does some things to the morale of the Mongols and the morals of the Japanese people that is fighting quite along Jin. So yeah, the ghost thing already is like bothering samurais. And here, Aesh is going to try to kill. You need to kill everybody here. So he's going to be using fire, because remember, fire terrified enemies more easily with the charm of the ghost armor, and also when the fire arrow, fire sword is being used, enemies can't block. So yeah, you need to kill everybody there, so the next cutscene, the next cycle of the battle can can happen.
Forward! Show the Mongols we will not be denied.
And again, you need to kill everybody here. There is some loot in some places that obviously Ash is going to pick it. And here the door can glitch sometimes. I don't know if you can see it, but it just pop open. And the enemies, those guys right there need to close the door. And when the door is closed, just then you can try to kill them. And I think there is everybody there. Nice.
That's good so far. None of the doors have glitched.
Yeah, that was nice.
Charge them, or they'll pin us down.
Kill them all!
Okay, in this part you don't have to kill the enemies right away, but you can go to a watch point here and see what's happening.
Come on, what?
That was bad.
God damn it.
Well,
I literally hit the point between the two beams there and just wasn't able to go up.
Yeah, that was unlucky. So yeah, you didn't have to kill any enemy there. You can just go here and trigger the next cutscene. And here you need to kill the enemies, but you can use a little bit of help here. So you're going to sprint as fast as you can for this viewpoint here that has a Wacha. And you're just going to kill everybody from this height, and we already used the Wacha for cleaning the path for Goro, and now we are going to use the Wacha for killing the rest of the enemies and help all the guys down there, the samurais. I think Norio should be there, Lady Masako and Sensei Shigawa should be there as well.
Yeah, thankfully the Watcher has like a friend-foe recognition, because you cannot actually shoot your friends with it. You can only ever hurt the enemies, so that's quite nice.
Hopefully. I mean, they are okay after this.
For sure.
And so in this battle, at the same time and the same way in the other ones, it's kind of split, so the enemies always spawn from the same places. And once you kill everybody here, Yuna says that it's okay, and you can just go to the next part, which is again kill everybody there, or everybody gets terrified and it counts as well.
You broke him. Khan is losing ground.
And there is one big guy here, a leader that is going to approach. There you go. And yeah, you need to pay attention to the guys and also to the quest that update, and also the yells of the people that, oh yeah, let's go for the door, or we are already done here. And here in the same way you need to kill everybody, and that was a really nice fight. And yeah, once you are up here, you trigger the next part.
That went pretty well.
Yeah, that was really good.
I'm not gonna lie.
So in this cutscene that we are going to skip, so basically Lord Chimura in his samurai ways want to go face forward to the enemies, but Jin already know that doesn't work. So he said, if you do that, everybody's going to die. But obviously, in the case of Lord Chimura, the honor is stronger, so he's not going to let Jin to do this thing as he wants. So Jin only has one option, right?
Exactly. Poison everybody. Isn't that great?
I reached that town. Scout the Khan's forces.
So yeah, we had a fallout with Lord Shimura at this point, like our ideologies clashing heavily. And Jin then decides, well, he's not gonna wait for the next day until they have repaired that bridge so they can attack with, you know, their people again or get massacred. So he's just gonna try and sneak in at night into the Mongol keep here and, yeah. Well, like I already said, poison everybody, so we can circumvent the fight.
Yeah, so this is basically like like the greater good thing. And yeah, in the case of Jin, the path is quite clear. Saving everybody is definitely the greater good. So even though that means that he's going to try to, I mean, he's going to leave behind his samurai's ways. If that means that he's going to save everybody, that's good for him. So here we are going to go to this point, so we can watch all that's happening. And again, this is one of that point when you have to look a bunch of stuff, so you can. This is the game basically telling you what's next. And yeah, so you can see that they are like kind of festing. There is some fermented milk that can be useful, and all the thing that Jin thought about Lord Chimura plan being bad is just true because the Mongols are already set for exploiting everybody, basically.
So we'll just try to quietly make our way through the gardens here. Oh god, Jin, please don't jump down there.
Oh, that was close.
That was really close, yeah.
Now to reach their feast and poison their drinks.
Yeah, and here we are going to again exploit the tumbleweed samurai when we can just go rolling and nobody is going to care about us. And we're going to again use the bomb for poisoning the fermented milk. And yeah, being with this being in the middle of the smoke bomb let us put in the poison right there. And in this cutscene, basically everybody drink the fermented milk and die.
Poison win, woo! Alright, but we're not quite finished here yet. Even though we've poisoned all the Mongols, there's just one thread left hanging that we should take care of here.
And you can imagine what's happening when Ash put this armor.
Gotta have another duel here against Ryuzo. Hello there, buddy. How are you doing?
Yeah, so when we kill the Ronins in the previous quest, we basically kill everybody, every Ronin left, and now Ryuzo is the only one that's left. And yeah, we basically need to kill Jin, but in the cutscene that we skip, actually Ryuzo tried to go back to the light side of the force and tell Jin that maybe we can lie to everybody and you can save my life.
Basically, what Ryuzo wanted to do, Jin to do was to tell everybody that Ryuzo was a spy sent by Jin to infiltrate the Mongols. But since so many people have died at the hand of Ryuzo and what his betrayal did, Jin just didn't want to have anything to do with that. He wanted Ryuzo to turn himself in to face the judgment of the Shogun, but Ryuzo didn't want that, so they had another fight, and now Ryuzo is dead for good. And of course, Lord Shimura finds out what we did, you know, with the whole poison stuff, and that is simply not the way of the samurai, so we are now imprisoned ourselves, and should be shipped over to the mainland to face the Shogun's judgment ourselves, which would mean our death. So our allies now free us, and we are just about to go and try and kill Khotun Khan, the leader of the Mongols, to hopefully end this Mongol invasion here.
Yeah, but we didn't just like poison everybody, but when Lord Chimura faces Jin, Jin tell him that he's not going to be his son, and basically be the heir of the island. And yeah, I mean that break entirely the relationship. But because Jin already decided that this is the way to save the island, now he is completely involved on saving the island. So he just escaped the prison. Where is it? And right north.
But yeah, basically the relationship between Jin and Lord Shima was completely shattered at this point. And we are at the final act of the game, so there's about 40 to 45 minutes left in this run. So, you know, if you want to get your donations in for the bid war of what we will do with Lord Shima at the end, well, now's the time to donate, guys.
Yeah, and also it's the time to press F in the chat because that pile of dirt and rocks is actually the gravestone for our beloved horsey that you guys picked the name of. But sadly now the horse is gone, so please,
Kage didn't make it. F's in chat.
Some F's in the chat for our little horsey.
The storm's coming.
He died valiantly in our escape from Castle Shimura.
Yeah, and here, as Adelwit said, we are rolling in the deep, going to the tree right here, and again, we are exploring this as much as we can. And we here need to investigate these corpses, and only one more down there, and we can continue.
So as it turns out, in the weeks or months that we have been imprisoned, the Mongols actually learned how to make the poison that we used against them. And yeah, we're gonna suffer the consequences of that now. But even though we are basically just vomiting blood at this point, it doesn't stop us from rolling. It's just, you know, that effective.
I can lose them in the storm.
Maybe it's wine, it's not blood.
Yeah. I don't know when Jin had wine for the last time. I don't know, man.
Come on, you stupid horse.
Sounds fishy to me.
Yuna? Is that
Yeah, so one of the things that is really interesting about the game that I just read about this not so long ago is that the more the game advanced, the whole weather became more and more gray because it's according to the developers is trying to replicate how the mood of Jin is changing to more like a gray thing. And so we are now like in it's snow, it's really dark, it's really gray outside, and
I think I found a better
yeah, I didn't knew that Tsushima has snow parts, so it was a really interesting thing when I get here.
somewhere by the mountain? Jogaku's
I
pagoda.
mean, it makes sense.
Sheltered, defensible, and in striking distance of the Khan's storm.
And we are looking again for a new base so we can reunite all our allies. And this is the Jogaku's pagoda, and yeah, it seems like a good place to reunite with our people.
I'm sorry. These will have to do for now.
So we're getting a new horse for now. I mean, look at that thing. Oh god.
Yeah, the other horse
malnourished.
is warm. Yeah, then we already have a new horse. I mean,
only pursued their army instead of fighting each
Yeah,
other.
and this is like a really
If I didn't give
it's
myself up,
not in the
everyone who followed
greatest
me would
shape.
have
This
attacked the
this little
samurai
horsey there, but
and Lord Shimura.
it's going to
It would
be
have been a
good
massacre,
for this part.
just like the Khan wanted.
But yeah, this is another somewhat longer writing session, so if you have anything to plug or some more donations to reach, go ahead.
To the Shogun. We can only win this war if we
Well,
stand together.
no new donations yet, which means, you know, it's looking
He
like
wanted
it's
me
more
to
and
be
more
his
gonna
son.
be
I destroyed his dream.
kill the guy, but you know,
Being right
gotta do what
doesn't
you gotta
always
do.
make
I
things
understand. But no, in all seriousness, definitely try to get those donations in for kill or save Shimura. As well as the
When
fact
I
that you were
was
doing,
young,
doing
Lord Shimura
direct
became
relief,
my father,
which is helping
my
with
sensei, my entire
COVID-19
world.
response and all that good stuff. So
I never wanted
please,
to
they
disappoint
do really good things.
I have to
We've
hope
already
he can
reached
heal
our
this wound.
first goal. Y'all have been the
Whatever
most
happens,
generous
his
you've ever been.
forgiveness won't change who I
Trying to
am.
get to 1,000 by the end of Sunday, so please try to
I
get
made my
those
own
in.
choices.
I
Even
know
knowing
that
what
all
they've
the
cost me,
all the
I make
incentives
them
have
again.
been reached.
Even if the Shogun
But I do know
brands me
that
as a traitor.
I believe tomorrow or Sunday, whichever day Fire Emblem is happening, there will be some stuff for that. So do definitely check all that out. But yeah, I mean, we only got what, probably like 20, 30 minutes left for the killer save, so try to get your donations in there.
Leave the horses here. We'll go in on foot.
And back to Aeshmah.
Alright, so we are gonna save a small fishing village over here,
For us and
which is of course under Mongol occupation, so let's see if we can fix that real quickly.
Yeah, so it seems like we are this fish locks here is quite close to the Yogaku's pagoda. So we're going to try to see if there is something that we can use for getting control of that settlement. And we're using this chain assassination, which is a kill that you learn. You can kill up to 3 enemies with that, and there is also 2 here. There is one guy up there in that the thing that sometimes he gets scared when you kill those 2 guys. But if it's not, you need to go there, and sometimes he goes down on her own. And yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was really quick.
The temple will have stronger defenses. We can't rush
But
in.
coming up is like my favorite rendition of a very well-known performance and or musical, the rendition of Mongols on Ice. Because what we're gonna do here, we see all these Mongols on the other shore, and we will set up one of the alarms to lure these guys over onto this frozen lake, and
that will get their attention.
It's really funny. I mean, they really do a good job skating along the ice there, I suppose, for a little while. You can see them coming. They're all running onto the frozen lake, where all these neatly, tightly packed explosive barrels are. And yeah, guys, maybe watch out for explosive barrels next time. Just saying.
I mean, if you have a bunch of gunpowder barrels, what best place to put them that in the middle of the lake?
Yeah.
Hey, can I jump in for a sec?
Sure, go ahead.
So, not a donation, but I will say, Kat just made up a new incentive for tomorrow for Dead Space. He'll be doing, if we can get to $500 before his run tomorrow, he'll be doing plasma cutter only. Which makes the game, if I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, makes the game way harder.
And more interesting, so I guess people definitely want to see that.
Oh, 500 extra. Sorry. But, yeah, if we can get with that donation incentive, definitely going to see a plasma cutter only, about 22 hours until that goes up. But please, I think I want to see Kat suffer a little extra, so let's all get those plasma cutter donations in.
I mean, for sure, the plasma cutter is the best weapon in that game, though, right? It's the most versatile, it's the most trustworthy. Just gets the job done, man. What do you even need all the other weapons for in that game? Seriously.
Jin, over here.
Okay, so now
Lord
we
Sakai, we
that
could
was a
use
good
the
fight.
old road.
Now we liberate this pagoda from Mongol occupation, and now it's ours. Now we can do
Way.
whatever we want here. And now this is going to be the place, like the headquarters, when we're going to go back and forth for the next part. And yeah, so this is a battle coming. So Ash is buying some stuff, and we're going to try to get some help
Yeah,
from
because
Yuna's friends.
Yeah, because what happened here is when we escaped from Castle Shimura, we basically are now in the northernmost part of the island. However, all of our allies, like Sensei Ishikawa, Lady Masako, and Norio, are still in the south. And of course, they can't join us because they have no way of getting through Castle Shimura, and the only other way up into the north is blocked by the Mongols. So, you know, now we have to get the Mongols out of that pass, so our allies can actually join us, so we can go ahead and attack the Khan head front.
Yeah, and as you can see, Aeshmah changed outfit. So in a quest, in a side quest in the normal game, you can recover an armor for a Mongol general. But we actually go and kill everybody and get the armor for itself. And when you wear this armor, it increases the stealth against Mongols by a lot. So in this ride, you can definitely encounter some couple of patrols. So I think that's the reason why Aeshmah put this outfit
Yeah.
for this ride.
There was basically one patrol like right in front of me, and when that patrol spawns, I have never been able to shake it or to circumvent it. Like, you would have to go so much out of your way that it would lose a lot of time. So instead, what I do is I equip this armor and can basically more or less move straight through them without losing a lot of time. It only loses me time because I have to menu to put the armor on. But yeah, whenever that patrol spawns, I nowadays just take the bullets and put on the Mongol commander's armor here because it's just faster for me.
Yeah, it makes sense. So here we're going to try to find a group of soldiers that are called the Wolves, I think.
They don't actually have a name, I think. They're just called the Hunters.
You're welcome at our
Yeah.
campfire, my lord.
So yeah, they are Yuna's friends, and we're going to bargain with them and basically ask for their help in return that they can pass the winter inside this fort that we're going to recover.
But you can use the line gun in Dead Space to skip the final boss? What? Never seen that.
And here we just YOLO those jumps here. And again, if you roll before you fall, you're going to skip, not skip, but you're going to not have falling damage, which is slower. And now we're going just to meet the hunters in the entrance of the fort, Kaminodake, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Kaminodaka, I think it is, yeah. Like I said, there are so many fortress names in this game, it's... you kind of just start mixing them together after a while.
Yeah.
I know that I do.
Just call it the fort.
But which one? Well, that one.
And okay, so in this next part is just go into the fort, kill some enemies, but unluckily for us, in the first part there is two enemies that are quite away from the center of the battle, and sometimes they hide. So hopefully this is not going to be the case, because they can't get scared if they are looking at the battle, but sometimes one of them just get behind a crate and pray for his life.
Yeah, it's just another instance of you having to watch the battlefield very carefully to see which enemy has not yet been dealt with, and you know, doing so swiftly.
And here we're going to use the hook that Taka made for us, and for some reason these guys are going to be really impressed by it.
I'll be right up.
Oop.
Yuna's got some interesting friends.
Let's plan our attack.
And again, we're going to search for the fort, so we can do what to do. We can know what to do, and yeah, go for the battle.
Men with me. Everyone else get to the ridge.
If the enemy sees me, take them down.
Understood. Good luck.
Okay, so we're going to throw some bombs. Again, remember the bombs, if you throw the bombs and there's a bunch of enemies, they are going to catch on fire and die, and hopefully the guys that are looking are going to get scared. And let's see, and let's hope for the guys that hide that be scared.
And of course these two are left still. Okay. Ah, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, that was good.
That was actually, yeah, well, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and here we need to wait for this
Takeshi.
guy. I don't remember Takeshi for coming here. And I don't know, but sometimes a group of Mongols to the right respawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it
So
doesn't.
sometimes
It does.
a group of Mongols respawn here, and you don't actually need to kill them.
On lethal you do, because they will definitely see you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that's also one of the differences between the difficulties is the enemies not only deal more damage, they're also more aggressive, and they detect you way faster on the higher difficulties. So while it would be good to go on easy to just sneak by these enemies, you definitely cannot do that on lethal difficulty.
Yeah, that makes sense. So here we just go there to trigger an explosion, and we're going to go over this door, and yeah, basically kill a bunch of Mongols here. They are really packed together. So again, throwing bombs, making explosions, catch them on fire is really the way to go.
And as soon as Jin says that reinforcements are on the way, you can just leave this fight and continue on to the end.
Yeah, as you can see to the left there, it is like I don't know, like 6-7 Mongols are running away. Yeah.
That's what you want to see.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the stuff right there. Yeah, here your allies are back with you, cleaning this fort, so your allies can use it, and you have a little bit more of health for the final battle.
Survived.
That was close.
Nobody.
The fort is ours,
Nice.
my lord.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Time is looking pretty solid too. I'm like, ooh boy.
Are we on PV base?
I can tell you after the next quest.
Okay, so yeah, after all these quests, you have this cute animation of Jin with his horse, and yeah, as soon as you can fast travel, we're gonna get back to Yokaku's pagoda, and yeah, we're gonna going back here to activate the other quests. And if I remember correctly, this is the shortest quest of the game, right?
It is. It only takes about 3 minutes or something. It's like really short. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna survey Port Izumi, where Khotun Khan and the rest of the Mongols are hiding out, to, you know, formulate a plan how we're gonna attack that. And we will do that really quickly.
Yeah, but sadly, Jin discovered that
Just like you did here.
the Mongols are actually using his poison
Ones I used to make my
a lot. So yeah, this whole part is full with the poison flowers, and the Mongols are just uh, basically farming a lot of poison for the invasion of the mainland. And yeah, this quest is actually made so you can go uh, from behind, and you have a lot of grass so you can hide. But again, we are here. They see me rolling, they hating, and we just roll to the lighthouse here, and yeah, nobody watch us.
And normally you're also supposed to go around that camp, like along the cliffs, and do a lot of stealth assassinations and whatnot, and we just skip all of that.
And you can see in the background all the barrels with flowers, and Jin is oh my god, oh jeez.
Over here.
And if you know like a little bit of like the Mongol invasion to Japan in the 13th century, you know that the whole storm have had a little bit of protagonism there. And yeah, here you can see the whole storm thing being told by Jin, and how they already know that the storm is coming.
That ridge has an open sightline to the Mongol fleet.
Imagine what we could do to their ships.
And yeah, this is one of the few places where you only watch uh, 4 of the 5 things that you can watch there.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I am nearly 2 minutes ahead of my PB.
Wait, 2 minutes ahead?
I think so, yes.
Whoa. We might be witnessing sub 320, maybe?
Maybe. I think it's in the cards, actually, at the moment.
Sakai.
I think that deserves some GGs in chat.
But, we're not at the end quite yet. We're not at the end yet. Still 3 more quests to get through. But yeah, we are definitely fast approaching the end of the game here.
Yeah, the next quest is Jito's heart. So obviously Jin knows that he can go alone and defeat the Khan, but he needs all the help that he can get. So he actually wrote a letter for his uncle, and he's going to ask for help. And yeah, these quests have one skip that I really like. But yeah, it's basically going into the castle and leaving the message in the bed of Lord Shimura. It's quite similar to the when we enter the castle for poisoning the milk, but it has some differences.
Yeah, so sorry if I'm starting to be a little bit more silent on commentary, but now that I know that I'm ahead of my PB, I'm starting to concentrate just that a little bit more on the run itself.
Yeah,
because now that I know that I'm so far ahead, I kind of want to make it happen.
Yeah, let's leave Ash concentrate. So yeah, we're going to go into Castle Shimura, and we're going to put the letter, and we're gonna hit a flashback here because this was like a training part, because I mean Lord Shimura lives here in the castle before the invasion. And yeah, differently from the previous quest when we entered this castle for poisoning the milk, we can't kill anybody here. Everybody needs to be alive. And yeah, this is the fast swimming keep. So basically, when you do the dance of wrath, and you have the water like until your knee, because there is no enemies, Jin is just going to get jitted in front of him, and now we can skip like all that slow swimming, and Jin can just uh, jump from one part to the other really, really fast.
If I attack the gods, it will prove I'm the
And
monster
here we're
they
going
think
to
I am.
again exploit this tumbleweed samurai thing, and we're going to roll to the fence here, jump over it, and yeah, enter Castle Shimura and leave our message.
And I just want to say, if we've only got, if we're looking at about 3:20, we've only got about 18, 15 minutes probably. I'm assuming that for the last for the save or kill. So everybody, he's doing great tonight with this run. No matter what happens, this run's been great. So let's get some stuff going, and let's see if we can either save or kill tonight. So let's go. We're helping direct relief. Let's go.
Save or Kill
Yeah,
Tonight sounds like a pretty good song somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys pick to save or kill Lord Shimura, if this is the world record, it's going to be listed.
Kill.
So you
Kill
guys
it.
can be famous. Yeah. So we're going to, instead of going inside the castle here, I mean this little house, we're going to go over the bridge. I mean over the floor here. No, the floor, the ceiling. Sorry. And again, skip, exploit the rolling thing, and inside the castle there is actually a lot of samurais that we can kill. If we kill them, we are going to get back into the latest checkpoint because it's going to be counted as a death. So we're going to use the smoke bombs for throwing away the samurais, so we can just go and don't kill anybody, and also don't get caught.
Yep, basically you are supposed to go through this whole castle undetected. However, for some reason, the samurai are not programmed to actually call for help and fail you if they see you. So you can just run through the whole castle willy-nilly and nobody cares.
Yeah, so that is a really good thing to have the smoke bombs there, because if they fully detect you and you have like a maybe like 3-4 seconds, maybe less, for throwing the bomb, but if they catch you, you're going to fail the mission. So having the bombs there is actually quite nice. So now we are going back to Yogaku's pagoda, and we are going to activate the almost final quest, which is called Eternal Blue Sky. And yeah, we're going to face our mortal enemy, Khotun Khan.
What took you so long?
Yeah, that's the big one. A grand showdown with the Mongols in Port Izumi. The thing we've been working towards for 3 hours here. Can we do it?
Yeah, and before we can actually fight Khotun Khan, we need to do some more fighting against the Mongols. So that's why Aish is buying some good stuff, so he's fully equipped for the next part. And here we actually need to wait for a little bit, because Yuna needs to walk a lot of time. And well, this time is actually for you for going to all your allies and kind of chat a little bit with them. But because this is a speedrun, we don't have time for that. So we are just gonna wait here for Yuna. So if someone in the staff want to say something, some donations, this is a good time for that.
Well, there's not only going a rumor around that this game will eventually release on PC, but Sony has also confirmed that there is going to be a movie based on Ghost of Tsushima. Now, what exactly it's gonna be about, what the story is, has not been disclosed yet, but we know it's coming. I mean, it's probably still a good 2 years or so out there, but you know, gets us excited as the speedrunners of the game, because you really want to see more of it.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that they are going to cast the same actors. I mean, it will be really cool.
For sure.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we remember, guys, there is an incentives to kill or spare Lord Shimura, but I mean, Ghost of Tsushima 2 is already being made, I think, and I wonder how they're going to manage this he's alive or he's dead thing, and it would be really interesting.
Probably just don't mention him at all.
Lord Shimura, who was he?
Yeah. Never seen that guy in my life. But yeah, this is the big attack on Port Izumi. The last few battles are coming up here, so let's see it.
Yeah, so basically the Mongols are here in this harbor, I think, because they are going to go to the mainland to expand the invasion, and they are carrying in these boats all the poison that they have collected through, because I mean, Jin tell us that this poison exists in the island and that they can use it. So yeah, Jin's definitely feel a little bit bad for that. And yes, you can see all the allies that Jin has collect through the game are here. So you can see there Lady Masako, so Sensei Yukawa, Norio, Kenji as well, and I don't think the hunters are here, but they are all helping Jin doing this fight. And luckily for us, there is a lot of gunpowder barrels here that we can throw a bomb and exploit, so a bunch of enemies can die from one blow. And again, this is the final quest, so
Plan worked.
you just use everything that you have, so you can do this as fast as you can. And okay, so before we were using the Clan Sakai armor for duels, but you can compare the Khotun Khan with Ryuzo and Temuge. He needs some special armor, and as soon as we get there, as you can see, Ash is going to put another armor that has another charms for that specific battle. And here all these enemies are optional, you don't need to kill them. And here there is a little glitch, this tree that is kinda alive, that every time it moves really weirdly. I think it's happy because Jin is already here, I don't know. But yeah, now it's just running through the end. If you play the game normally, you kill all these guys because, I mean, why not? But in the speedrun, you actually don't need to kill anybody here. So you just go, and as you can see, Aeshmah already put the armor. This is the Kosaku's armor. You get this doing I think as a legendary tale.
Yes.
And this armor, yeah, this armor is made for staggered damage. So every enemy that you fight, they have a guard, and you have to break that guard so you can begin delivering damage. So in this case, you want to do damage as soon as you can, but the guard of these enemies is really strong. So that's why with the against the Khotun Khan, we use the Kosaku armor, so we can break the guard of the Khotun Khan and deliver some serious damage.
You're weak.
So that's why we don't use the Gosaku. I mean the Clan Sakai armor. We use this one, and you can see it was a really good tool. We don't use the Dance of Wrath like crazy on the other ones because actually Aeshmah needs the resolve
Oh!
for the last fight. So yeah, that's why he don't use just the Dance of Wrath like crazy because we need the resolve. And as you can see, he changed outfit again. We have now the Kensei armor, and this is specific for this fight. And Aeshmah needs to use the God stance in this fight, but if you get hit once, you lose the stance. But with this armor and the charm that it has on, you can actually, when you get hit, you only lose one death. So, oh, that was really fast. So that's why we use this armor, and this armor as well make the ghost weapons do a lot of damage. So all the bombs, all the sticky bombs, they do a lot of damage. So that's why for this battle in special we use the Kensei armor, and this battle is going amazingly. We use the ghost stance. We use some kunais, again, ghost armors. That was really fast. And yeah, so long. Khotun Khan.
I think that was the best fight that I've ever had against that guy.
That was really good, man.
That went flawless. Like,
yeah, that was
just
amazingly good.
Ran great.
Yeah, and now the Khan is dead. The boats are not going to the mainland with the poison.
But his army is still
So yeah, Act 3 is done. GG. But not yet.
Start new lives.
So we already defeat the Khan. The Mongols are still in the island, but they are leaderless. And yeah, at the last second, the army of Lord Chimura joined the battle. They defeat together the Mongols, and yeah, now Jin begins to watch what were the consequences of all his actions.
So we have about 5.5 minutes left in this run, so this could indeed be a sub 320. Just saying.
Let's
no
go.
Pressure. While I get the wrong armor.
And we have a few more minutes. So if somebody wants to do a huge donation for saving Lord Chimura, this will be the moment for doing that.
Let's go,
and yeah, so as you can see, Aeshmah changed outfit again. It puts the Gosaku's armor that we explained has the ability of breaking the guard really fast. But in the next cutscene, Aeshmah is going to, Jin is going to appear with another armor, the running attire. But in this case, the next outfit is going to automatically have the charms that your last armor has. So all the charms that the Gosaku armor have right now, the the running attire is going to have them as well. So we save the same charms even though Jin is going to look different.
So you have about 3 minutes, I want to say, left for the donation bid war. So, you know, if anyone wants to snipe that, get ready.
It is still at kill.
Nice. I want that to be there.
Shogun asked me to train his warriors to
Yeah, and here again we get rid of the horse because it's really slow, and we start doing the jumpity jump. And yeah, in this whole ride, our uncle is going, Dunkle, sorry, is going to tell us that yeah, all the things that Jin did, even though they were for the good of the island. They are quite troublesome because now
Here, let
uh,
us help you.
the shogun declared that Jin is not longer a samurai.
Alone.
He doesn't have any land, any titles, and he's basically an enemy of the state right now. And because Lord Chimura is the Jito of the island, he is the one that had to impart justice and caught the traitor or the enemy of the shogunate.
I don't have an army.
And again, we ditch the horsey and just go to the cemetery where we do the haiku, if you guys remember, when we did the haiku remembering our family. And now we're going back there
Won't let them do that.
to again pay our respects for the clan Sakai that is basically disappearing right now.
So we are basically mere seconds away from the end of the donation war. So basically, when I get down there to this red tree, can you please end the donation war?
Place of 7 generations of Sakai.
So basically, when I'm down at the end of these stairs here.
And my father.
We must pay our respects.
So, and close the donation wall, please. And
Okay.
tell me,
he lives or he dies.
It's gonna be.
Unfortunately, he dies.
He dies. Perfect. That means I got
Okay.
a PB.
Okay, so this is the last haiku. I think it's awesome that the game ends like this, like doing some last speedrunning poetry. And again, I'm going to keep quiet so you can guys.
Also get ready on time. It will be when I confirm my choice after the coming duel. Well, it will be really quickly, so be ready for that. It's about a minute from now.
This is where we part.
Unless I screw this up. Which I hope won't happen.
Okay, so that was the last haiku of the game. You should get the trophy right here if you did everything wrong. I mean, right. And yeah, let's do this duel. Lord Chimura is actually quite hard to fight. He's really violent. But yeah, all the results that we save, Aichi is going to use it really in specific times. Because, as we said with Khotun Khan, the guard is important to break it, because otherwise you can't do damage. And yeah, there you go, some Dance of Blood. The guard is broken, we do some more damage. And I think, yeah, last one more Dance of Blood.
And time.
And man, GG, congratulations, man. That was 3 hours, 29 minutes, and
I have no honor.
40 something, I think.
Yeah. It was a bit less than 49, but yep. That's it. So let's watch the ending. This will only take about a minute. So you guys can actually see what you donated for.
Wait, is the timer 10 minutes behind?
I know.
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 3 hours, 19 minutes, 20 something seconds, I think.
3:19. I think it was 40, something around that.
This is the first sub 320 ever.
Yep. Wait, I selected the wrong ending.
Wait, yeah, I saw Jin putting the mask and I said, what? This is not supposed to happen.
Wait. This is the wrong one. sorry. I pressed the wrong button. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. I was just so caught up in the moment that I just wanted to get that button pressed on so the timer stops. So I didn't think what I pressed. Oh god. I am so sorry. But
Yeah,
hey,
well,
I guess at least you did
I think
get
you're gonna
to
have
see
to
a world
start
record
again.
run here, so you know it kind of evens out. I want to say. But yeah, that's it. That is Ghost of Tsushima, everyone. Thank you so much for the organizers for having us. It was a blast. I mean, we just got a world record run here. Thank you so much for Charlton for commentating for me. Thanks for the Ghost of Tsushima speedrunning community. You guys are awesome. We are also just a very small community of runners.
Jin.
So if you think that this game is for you to speedrun, go to speedrun.com, join our Discord server. We will happily set you up with anything that you want to do. There are a lot of different categories with varying lengths. So, you don't have to do a 3.5 hour run. You can also do a 7-hour run if you want to, or just an hour run. And yeah, thank you so much for having us, guys. Charlton, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to comment. This is the first time I comment Ghost of Tsushima Run. Yeah, I mean, join the community. We are a really small community, but we are really caring. It is a quite new game, so I hope that it's going to keep up. And yeah, thank you guys for the organization. This is a great cause, so please keep donating.
Sure.
And yeah, congratulations in the world record, man. This is awesome.
Thank you.
And yeah, GG, everybody.
Yeah, and good luck to all the runners coming up over the rest of the weekend. Let's smash those donation goals. We already smashed one. Why can't we do more?
Alrighty. I just want to give a quick shout out to him again for doing a great world record in Ghost of Tsushima. And I guess we're going to probably be hitting that break real quick.